Go for it.
If you smell what The Rock is booking.
Come to Book It, wrestling podcast where we book and revisit your favorite wrestling storylines. I'm your commissioner, Hi-Fi Mike, and today every GM's Damone, D Money Allen,
Ask me about my wiener.
Primetime Travie T,
Who better than Travie T?
Lil Fudge,
I'm here to ask about Damone's wiener.
and the bad guy Kenny.
Handle me. Who's gonna handle me? In the great words of Meg Thee Stallion.
I'm gonna handle
The goat.
Damone's wiener.
I'm gonna handle Meg Thee Stallion.
No,
With
you're
my
not.
wiener.
No, you're not. Shut up.
Meg Thee Stallion's gonna you're gonna be
Oh,
like Jim.
the-
No,
I'll
you're
give-
gonna be like Jim.
I'll give her the
from
worst
American
1
Pie.
minute.
Hey,
I'll give her the worst 1 minute of her life.
It's gonna be like
Meg Thee
from
Stallion is
American
thicker
Pie
than-
when he comes in his pants just from touching her leg.
Yes, that's gonna be me because Meg Thee Stallion is thicker than the Honey and Pooh's honey pot. I can't deal with
Y'all,
this. Like,
y'all are sounding like, not only are you saying like weird shit, but you're saying it like slowly. You're tripping over yourself, so you sound like mega dorks right now.
Yeah,
Good.
Meg Thee Stallion. Yeah.
Y'all
We're talking about
sound
being
like y'all have
sensitive
not
virgins. Who
touched
cares?
ass in like a century. Like,
who
I haven't
cares?
touched Meg Thee
Taking a
Stallion.
White Castle
yet.
milkshake.
So-
That's why.
y'all.
All
need
right,
to-
so this week we've
Get
got BBW's pay-per-view for Book It Verse 3, round 4.
I will say one
Um,
thing: she's not as thick as Sarah Del Rey, though.
Oh my god! Shut the fuck up.
That's right. Talk to him, Damone.
Clip it.
All right, John, tell us about BBW and your pay-per-view, and if you don't know what Book It Verse is, go back to the beginning of this series or the first one for Book It Verse 1. I think that was last year sometime, probably about a little over a year ago. And catch up, even though no Book It Verse has anything to do with each other, really. But, John, go ahead and tell us about your show.
All right.
Not John.
All right, Damone's
I'm
gonna
getting
present
there.
My show.
My computer's going slow.
You're good.
There you go.
Might be time for another.
So where we left off was Taboo Tuesday. That was about 5 weeks ago. So we've had 4 weeks of normal programming, and then that Monday programming didn't happen because the Wrestlepalooza takes place that weekend, which is a 3-day wrestling festival that was announced at Taboo Tuesday. The first day taking the place of their normal developmental slash like dark type show programming. The second day taking the place of their weekly show on Mondays, and the third day being the pay-per-view, which I am presenting today. So tonight is Wrestlepalooza Night 3 of the festival. So the theme song for tonight is Make No Sense by NBA Youngboy, certified banger. Continuing
That makes
forward.
no sense.
Fuck it. There you go. As announced by LeVar Ball at Taboo Tuesday,
Ooh.
this year's King of the Ring tournament, which determines the #1 contender at Final Destination, is going to take place at a 3-day wrestling festival called Wrestlepalooza in Miami. This festival will feature meet and greets, classes, seminars, performances, and concerts, including John Cena performing a new rap album in full.
Ew.
So tonight's pay-per-view Wrestlepalooza Night 3 will begin with a video package reviewing the King of the Ring thus far and Wrestlepalooza Nights 1 and 2. Night 1 was entirely composed of the first round of King of the Ring that I'll go over soon. And Night 2 had a couple of matches that I deemed important enough to discuss, shown in the video package. These couple of matches don't have anything to do with my card tonight, so that's why I'm doing them here, just presenting them. So the
Was
co-main
part of the
event,
video package? That
Yes.
explanation?
yes. Well,
Okay.
no.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. So the video package is it's basically showing like Wrestlepalooza Nights 1 and 2 thus far, and then Night 1 was all King of the Ring shit, and then Night 2 is.
Oh, this is night 3?
Yeah, I'm presenting Night 3, and
I
it's
fucked
showing
up the title of this episode.
Yeah, this is Night 3. It is. Sorry. Yes. So it's gonna recap Night 2 stuff that isn't King of the Ring, and then it's gonna go over King of the Ring shit in order. So, the co-main event featured a tag team match with the Acclaimed with Leo Rush at ringside facing R-Truth and NBA Youngboy with John Cena at ringside. This match takes place because Max Caster was angry about who was featured on Cena's album instead of him when he dropped the track list online. Those features included NBA Youngboy and R-Truth, as well as The Rock and some other popular rappers. Caster spent weeks challenging Cena to fight online and rapping about his retirement on TV until he finally got a response from Youngboy, who said he's gonna be at Wrestlepalooza and to pull up. Cena was performing the song featuring R-Truth on day 1 of the festival, and the Acclaim attacked them on stage. Cena and Truth ran them off until Rush got involved, who was then tackled by NBA Youngboy. The match was announced the following night after. So the match takes place and the ref gets knocked down and Lio Rush gets involved in the match. So while the ref is down, John Cena hits an FU on Lio Rush, and then Youngboy hits an RKO on Max Caster and gets the pin as the ref wakes up. The main event on night 2 was for the women's championship. At Taboo Tuesday, ODB shocked the world and dethroned Lita as women's champion. The other 3 members of the Femme Fatalities are trying to figure out what they're going to do, as they haven't heard from Lita since her loss. Rhea, Ripley, and Paige are planning ways to force ODB to give Lita a shot, while Shotzi asks why don't they take the time to focus on themselves and their own careers. So Rhea and Paige say that Shotzi's mistake cost Lita the title, and she owes Lita for that. Shotzi says she's given Lita enough, and she doesn't owe her shit. ODB addresses her future and says that Lita will never see a title shot as long as she is champion. Rhea and Paige come out to try to jump her, but Shotzi stops them. Next week, ODB decides to have Shotzi, Rhea, and Paige have a triple threat to become the #1 contender to stir the pot, and the match is essentially a handicap match until Paige and Rhea fight over the pin on Shotzi. Shotzi takes advantage of that and wins the match. The following week, ODB says that Shotzi can't start kissing everyone's asses now that her queen is using her sick days, and she can't ask for sympathy for her own choices. Shotzi says that Lita's reign is only over thanks to her. ODB is only champion thanks to her. Shotzi says she is done wasting her career serving someone else. She is taking her life back and starting with the women's championship. Rhea and Paige try to attack them both, but ODB and Shotzi run them off before a big stare down. The match takes place on night 2, and it's a hard-fought 25-minute back-and-forth match. ODB is setting up for her finisher as Paige and Rhea slowly walk down the ramp. This gives Shotzi time to reverse that and steal a pin, but Shotzi is furious when she realizes what has happened and that her win of the championship is only because of the other Femme Fatality members. So that is night 2, and now I am going into the King of the Ring build. This is all in one video package. So Damone, can you pull up the bracket, please?
So hold on. So what was the? I got confused there because we started with Max Caster and John Cena, and then all of a sudden we're in women's stuff.
Yes. So those.
What the fuck did I miss?
Those are the matches that happened on night 2.
This is a recap video.
Yeah,
it's just a video package.
Yes, this
of
is not
what
on my
happened
current
on
card.
Night 1 and night 2.
Yes. So
we're supposed to grade the build up or the
this is all
recap.
one video package of a recap. So night 1 is all King of the Ring shit that I'm about to go over. Night 2 had other King of the Ring shit, and then those 2 matches, the Acclaimed versus R-Truth and Youngboy, and then the ODB versus Shotzi.
So
Now,
just to be fair, we don't rate this because we didn't rate it before.
so
we do rate the video
but this is going to be the
It's
video
gonna be
package isn't
one
done yet.
It's going to be
it's not
one
done.
rating.
So you're going over summary right now,
Yes,
Yes.
and
'Cause
you're
I'm
gonna
also confused
summarize
when I did-
King of the Ring.
up to a point.
Not the whole thing.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I'm saying. Because like when I did it, I feel like I don't remember getting rated for that when I did a video.
on this
This is
thing,
a long
this
video
Book of Verse,
package
We've been
description.
doing anything that's on the pay-per-view gets graded.
I know that we. All right,
And
go ahead. Keep
also,
going.
Kenny, this has builds for like 3 of my other matches because there's 3 King of the Ring matches
Okay.
that are being built in this video package. 'Cause, like this is about to get even longer because
I was say this is about to get messy for you. I don't.
So, let me explain. So, King of the Ring is from this point forward, right now. It's all King of the Ring shit. It is building the 3 King of the Ring matches that are happening and one other match on the card. What we just talked about was just a recap of night 2, the stuff that was not King of the Ring related. All right, so this is our King of the Ring bracket. Week 1 of the King of the Ring build. LeVar Ball comes out to open the show after Taboo Tuesday and says, last night I announced Wrestlepalooza. let me get my impression, will be a 3-day festival in Miami. Some of you are wondering what that looks like, and I'm here to explain. During the daytime each day, fans will be able to attend classes, seminars, comedy shows, and concerts, including John Cena performing his brand new album in full. During the
What's the name of this album?
Goat Shit.
That's gonna be a quarter.
God damn it. I made that up on the spot.
I knew you didn't have one. That's why.
Disgusting. Sorry. During the evenings, we will have night 1 airing Friday night on Hulu in the place of Proving Grounds that week. Night 2 on FS1 in the place of Malice. And night 3 on pay-per-view. The entirety of the King of the Ring tournament will take place over those 3 days, with the qualifying round on night 1, the quarterfinals on night 2, and the semifinals and finals taking place on pay-per-view. Without any further ado, here is your King of the Ring bracket. And this exact image is shown on the screen.
Well, you got to say it for the people that's listening.
Yes. So I'm about to. The bracket shows the first round with Eddie Kingston facing Kofi Kingston, Mustafa Ali facing Rhino, Owen Hart facing Big E, Cody Rhodes facing Alex Zane, The Rock facing Booker T, Taz facing Billy Gunn, The Miz facing Paul London, and Sami Zayn facing the Iron Sheik. After the bracket is shown on screen, MJF comes out and says, "That's it? I thought I just had 1 month off, but it appears I have 2, so I'll just make myself scarce and I'll see ya in June." And Ball retorts, not so fast. You get 0 months off, as I found you an opponent for night 3. Since you wanted to appear for DPW and pop off these Meth Hardy jokes, you'll be facing him in a TLC match. And also, he'll be here next week to pay you a visit. MJF freaks out for the moment but collects himself and says, "You know what? Fine. Bring that druggie over. I'll be more than glad to tell him what everyone's been thinking for a decade." And slams the mic off and walks away. So later that night, Stephen A. Smith is shown backstage and says, "Please welcome our guest at this time, Owen Hart. Owen, you finally got your revenge on Eddie Guerrero 2 nights ago, and now you have another chance to earn a world title shot. Where are you mentally?" Owen says, "I am finished with Eddie Guerrero. Our friendship is over, and now so is our fight. I won. Now I finally right this wrong and get my title match. If we're all lucky, we never see Eddie in BBW again. With that thorn out of my side, I can show everyone I am the coldest son of a bitch to ever lace him up." Stephen A. asks, "Who do you think is the biggest threat between you and the BBW championship aside from Eddie?" And Owen says, "In my eyes, I'm already champion. I make MJF look like Mother Teresa, and every one of these wrestlers look like indie jobbers. Come up with better questions next time you interview me." And then walks away.
Wait, John, we got a prediction on here from Ryan. I can't say his last name. He said, "I guarantee Kingston will win his first match in the King of the Ring." Eddie Kingston with Kobe
Oh
Kingston.
yeah, that's a good prediction. Solid prediction. So it's announced that night that all 16 contestants will be face to face and have the highest seeds, Eddie Kingston and The Rock, serve as team captains for an 8-on-8 match. Everyone makes entrances over the commercial, and they're all standing in a circle. Eddie Kingston tries to speak, but The Rock loudly clears his throat over him. Cody tries to speak next, and The Rock farts into the microphone. Rock says, "I bet you smell what The Rock is cooking now. Finally, The Rock has come back." And The Miz interrupts, yelling, "No, not today. We're not sitting around while you do the same thing over and over. I will not be overlooked. I will not be." And The Rock interrupts, saying, "Shut up, Jizz." And The Miz gets mad, and the Bollywood boys have to hold him back. The Rock follows, "Listen to your boys, Ligma and Sugma." Miz screams, "Their names are..." And The Rock yells over him, "Ligma Balls and Sugma Wiener." Rock steps over to Cody and says, "You smell like flowers. You like tulips?" "Tulips on this bleep." He goes over to Ali and says, Mustafa Ali, that's a cool name. Are you Sagandis?
Why is your version of The Rock just somebody who gives out dad jokes?
These are
These are not dad jokes. These are like fifth grader jokes.
Fifth grade dad
These
jokes.
are not
These are
dad
dad
jokes.
jokes.
Yeah.
These are
No,
definitely
these-
dad jokes.
These
No,
are
they
not
are
dad
not.
jokes. What fucking dad is saying Ligma?
Why? No, my question is, why are there so many? I was waiting. I was wondering, 2. He gave us 11.
Mike,
Hey.
did your dad tell you to put 2 lips on his dick? Like that seems like that's a wild
Not on
fucking
his
dad
dick,
joke.
but he definitely said dirty dad jokes.
There-
All right,
No comment.
where was I?
I think you were on Ligma.
Mustafa
or-
Ali, that's a cool name. Are you Sagandis? He says, actually, I'm Sagandis nuts. He goes over to Eddie Kingston and Taz and just says, this is what no bitches does to a tag team. He goes on to the New Day and says, heard you got a burger. I prefer Wendy's. Wendy's nuts in your mouth. He goes
This
over
is,
to
hold on, time out. This is, you remember when Enzo Amore roasted the cruiserweight division? This is that, but not good.
hey, y'all want it both? You got it. He goes over to Paul. London
no
and
one
says,
asked for this.
No,
I'm
we
actually-
didn't want Bofa. That's
I'm actually
the
proud of you,
opposite.
John. I'm proud of you for sticking to your guns.
He goes over to Paul London and says, you look like a member of Imagine Dragons. Imagine dragging my nuts on your head. And then Eddie Kingston cuts in and says, I'm not sitting through this bullshit anymore. My first pick is Taz. And then from there, Eddie selects the Iron Sheik, Cody Rhodes, The Miz, Owen Hart, Rhino, and Alex Zane. The Rock selects Booker T, Sami Zayn, Kofi Kingston, Big E, London, and Mustafa Ali with the last pick. The match ends in total chaos with an attitude era finisher chain. The last one being The Miz hitting a skull-crushing finale on The Rock.
What was the setup for? What were they picking
So
teams for?
they were
So dodgeball?
the 2 highest seeds in King of the Ring, Eddie Kingston and The Rock, were doing like an 8-on-8 tag match where
Why
they
are
are
they
team
the-
captains.
You had a 16-man tag?
Sure did. Weekly television, baby.
Shit.
And it basically, as you would expect, just turned into a fucking brawl, and everybody just hits finishers on each other. Some attitude.
That's
type
8.
shit.
So wait, is it two? How many teams?
2 teams of 8.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he prefaced it with the Sudanese nuts jokes.
All right, let's keep going. I want to hear the rest of this. I'm
Alright.
Next
Next week on Malice, the New Day faces the Underclass Gang and Owen Hart in a 6-man tag.
Is this still the fucking
No,
the
this is-
video package?
I'm doing the entire build for King of the Ring.
All right.
So yes.
Not
So,
everything. so-
theoretically, we would have watched these matches, or
Yeah,
all
so
of
not
this,
all of
but
this is
you're
going to be in the video package, but it's getting
package, but-
summarized
right,
essentially
yeah.
in the
That's
package.
a good way to get around getting graded for the video package alone.
This is all one thing.
I'm giving you. It's not because this is a build to your matches. This is no longer the video package. But I
This
like
just
what
made
you're
the
doing
most
here.
sense because
I'm giving you the dub. Just don't argue with me because then
Okay,
I'm gonna start arguing
sorry.
back and make you get graded. For
Sorry, I'm just trying to explain. It's like trying to like build just like the semifinal matches by themselves. You know what I mean? Not every interaction took place between those 2 people. These interactions took place between all 16 people. So next week on Malice, the New Day faces the Underclass Gang and Owen Hart, but Xavier Woods is jumped by Taz and Eddie Kingston before the match, and then Kofi and Big E lose 2-on-3. The assault continues after the match with Eddie Kingston berating them, saying, "It appears you guys are all out of jokes, huh? Truth be told, you should be thanking us for the reality check tonight."
Is he Australian?
I guess Oklahoma and Brooklyn equals Australian. Listen, I'm doing these impressions whether you like them or not.
You're from
Yeah, we Triple H.
California.
Who's it supposed to be?
Eddie Kingston.
Okay.
Thank-
He turned to Triple H, but also Tony Storm. It's like, I don't know. I was so confused.
Man,
Hashtag
y'all
whoop that
There's
shit.
also a
complain
little
when I
bit-
don't do the impression, so I'm doing them. Shut the fuck up.
There's also a little bit of ball in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, his MJF and his LeVar Ball are the same person. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but if listening back to this, rewind and listen to them interact. I couldn't. If he didn't say who was talking, I wouldn't know.
I'm not a fucking voice actor. So he's continuing. It says, You are now hopefully aware that you can't rely on dead weight like Xavier Woods or Chuck Palumbo or Eddie Guerrero. Sometimes you have to admit that your friend is a useless piece of shit and cut him off. Do that for yourselves and thank me later. As he is saying this, Billy Gunn runs down with a chair and delivers shots to all three as Big E and Kofi get up and fight, running them off. All right, later that night, Rhino and his new manager Jimmy Hart make their way to the ring, and Jimmy gets a mic to say, "No matter who was cursed with the worst outcome of facing the man beast Rhino, the end result will be splat on the mat."
Wait, who is this?
Jimmy Hart.
Jimmy Hart. That's honestly your best
This is
impression.
the best impression you've ever done.
Yeah, was that literally
Because
the
he's
best?
Southern like me.
You
That
need to get a
statement-
little higher. Get a little higher with that pitch.
That statement is doubly true for the last seed loser, Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali barely survived Scorpio Sky, and he stands no chance against the Motor City Muscle, the War Machine, the Man Beast, the Father of the Gore. Woo-wee! That boy is done. Ali, hear me closely. You don't belong. No last seed has ever made it past the first round. You are ordinary in a sport of extraordinary men. Quit now and collect another paycheck. Ali's music comes out, and he comes out saying, "You know, Jimmy, if there's not room for ordinary men in this sport, I speak for everyone in asking what the hell you are doing out here. I'm going to keep this short because these fans have looked at you dorks long enough, but I feel the need to remind you that this is 2023. Extraordinary no longer means steroids and baby oil. Extraordinary no longer means perms and zoot suits. Extraordinary is defined by the unexpected. And nobody expected a Muslim to be a good guy in a wrestling company. Nobody expected an unknown cruiserweight to become a title contender. And no one expected me to beat Scorpio Sky twice. And no one expects me to beat you and become king of the ring. Keep flexing your muscles and rolling your neck, Rhino. You've almost made them forget we're the same height." And then drops the mic and the promo segment ends.
I do have a quick question.
What's up?
Were the matchups randomized, like who faced who? Or is
Yes.
it like, okay. 'Cause I was going to say, if Ali's the bottom seed, he should be facing Eddie or The Rock. But if
it's
they're
randomized,
randomized,
yeah.
then that makes sense.
All right. Later that night, the model citizens are in their dressing room. The camera goes close to Cody Rhodes, and he says, "Hi, I'm the American Dreamboat Cody Rhodes, the most handsome man on the planet. I've taken time out of my perfect day to give some ratings of my fellow King of the Ring contestants." And behind him, Kit Wilson and Elton Prince have a pink bulletin boards with names of the other contestants that they read to Cody as he gives ratings. Kofi Kingston, 2. His upper body looks like a crepe. Eddie Kingston, 0. Gross. He makes me vomit. He looks like botulism in a can. Rhino, 3. Has muscle and literally nothing else. Mustafa Ali, 1. All those LEDs and he still has terrible lighting. Alex Zane, 0. And then he hears a knock on the door. Pretty Deadly opened the door to show Alex Zane outside. Alex says, "Cody, I gotta give it to you, man. You're absolutely dashing." And Cody's like, "Yeah, I know. I know you don't know me and probably don't like me, but I'd love if you could give me a makeover sometime." Miles says to start cackling, laughing, and Alex continues, "As a token of your appreciation for your beauty, I actually got all of you a hot oil massage tonight. My treat." Model citizens stand there and shrug and seem to accept. And then Alex says, "They're actually here right now. Here, I'll go grab them. Stay right there." And then they stand back a few feet until the door opens and Alex Zane comes in with a Gatorade cooler, rears back, and splashes hot oil all over the model citizens, leaving them slipping all over the floor. All right, Stephen A. Smith is next joined. "I am joined at this time by The Miz and the Bollywood Boys, otherwise known as the Silver Screen. Miz, you learned last week that your opening match in the King of the Ring tournament will be against former Workhorse champion Paul London. Yet you seem solely focused on The Rock. Could you potentially be sleeping on your opponent?" Miz takes the mic and says, "That'll be your first take and your last one this evening. Get lost. Paul London, you exist only to me as a formality in this tournament. Giving you my time is the equivalent of signing these neckbeards action figures, kissing babies at the premiere, or stopping for a photo on the red carpet. You are not even a blip on Samir and Sunil's radar, let alone mine. be thankful you got an extra role in the rise of Miz. In this film, I am clearly the handsome, funny, talented, and strong hero whom everyone loves, but every film has an antagonist. That role is being played by C-lister Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who probably laughs at his own last name. Listen closely, Dwayne. You are not fit to breathe my A-list air, let alone attempt to humiliate me with your grade school insults that you learned on the set of Superdog. I am a Hollywood superstar, a former BBW champion, and the fastest rising star in sports entertainment. With these two Bollywood studs by my side, no one dares get in my way. We are the silver screen cut scene.
Hey, he's right.
And Miz
He
turns
needs
to
talk
walk
that
away,
shit.
but gets...
That might be your best promo ever, by the way.
Really? Thank you.
Yeah.
Is it better than Raven?
And not. Yeah, I was about to say that. Yes.
So
Those fucking D-level promos that he tried to throw for the belt.
So Miz turns to walk away, but gets grabbed and turned around by Paul London, who starts to speak, but Miz simply yells, "You don't get to share my TV time," and walks away. All right, now to the third week. Next week, Alex Zane and Paul London face Cody Rhodes in a tag match. The Model Citizens and the Silver Screen get frustrated with the match and beat those two down. And then Miz and Cody have a stare down. Cody gets on the mic and says, "First of all, Miz, your breath stinks. Secondly, no one else is the reason you're not a bigger star. The reason is just that you're simply too ugly for the roles. They're offering them to dashing men like myself, Kit, and Elton." Sorry. You see, Miz cuts in, "I'm gonna stop you right there. One thing that's always been true about you, Cody, is that you view yourself entirely different from how everyone else does. You are delusional. I'm the biggest star in Hollywood, and while you rely on daddy's name and indie friends to get you anywhere, that may get you far in wrestling, but nowhere on the outside. There is no wrestler with the crossover appeal that has the crossover appeal that we do." As the Miz rants, The Rock comes out and says, "Finally, The Rock has come back to Denver. The Rock and his millions and millions of fans
Millions.
have had enough." Damone's on
And
the video.
millions.
Have had enough of listening to you two sussy bakas whine about your careers. The Rock has a serious question for both of you. Have you two been penny trading? And there's like, what? Penny trading each other's asses! As the crowd laughs and the Miz freaks out, Booker T comes out and says, "This is going to be a terrible impression. I'm sorry already.
Sorry, black community, for this. He about to piss everybody off.
Oh, damn, I'm trying to do this super. Sorry to everyone who had with their hopes up about matches that won't happen. You two marks are fantasy booking your match."
Time out. That's not what I expected this promo to sound like at all. He
I
sounded
thought
like
he's gonna
Paul
like-
Phoenix from Tekken.
I thought he was gonna be like, "Yes, a boss." I love the Rock.
Well, I'm not gonna intentionally be racist. I'm just trying to sound like the man. I don't know how. I have
cool.
Now, clearly you
go
don't.
ahead with
You
that
sound
impersonation.
you sound more like Kid Rock than Booker T.
Well, I look more like Kid Rock too. Sorry, I'm white. I don't know what to do. I'm just doing my best. Sorry to everyone who had their hopes up about matches that won't happen. You two marks are fantasy booking your match with The Rock when The Rock won't be making it past me. So my advice to all three of you, is to start giving me the respect that I deserve. Now can you dig that? And the Miz says, "Fine, have it your way." As Cody and Miz send Kit, Elton, Samir, and Sunil down the ramp to attack The Rock and Booker T. Rock and Booker able to get through those four before Cody and Miz get to them. And then Rock and Booker get the better of Cody and Miz and hit synchronized rock bottom and book end onto them onto the ramp before getting in each other's faces and bickering before the commercial break. Later that night, Eddie Kingston faces Billy Gunn. Eddie Kingston wins. Commentary makes important note that the last few months have been rough for Billy Gunn, with his sons ditching him in the Gun Club and beginning a losing streak from there. He barely made it to King of the Ring. After the match, the Underclass Gang beats Billy down as Taz holds him in a Taz mission while Eddie says, my bad.
As Eddie says,
both
both.
both of these. We were gonna let you off with some embarrassment, but after you played hero last week, we're gonna make an example out of you. Taz is gonna choke you till the fat lady sings and the arena clears. Billy, you never got to say goodbye to your kids because they hate you. And Eddie kneels down as Billy fades. But the music of Chuck Palumbo is that biker music, the "You will remember me," yeah, you know, that type song.
That song was wrong.
No, that's his biker song.
I know I'm saying it's wrong. We don't remember him.
Oh damn, it's a good. That theme was lit. It's underrated. Go listen to it.
Whose theme is this?
Chuck Palumbo when he was a biker.
Oh yeah, that shit was ass. I forgot.
No, fuck you. That shit was good.
He was ass as a biker.
That shit was hit.
He was
I
better
like
when he was
Chuck
married to
Palumbo.
Billy.
I agree.
The music of Chuck Palumbo plays and a motorcycle zooms down the ramp. Chuck hops off the bike and runs into the rink, big booting Eddie and Taz, grabbing Eddie to do more damage, but Taz rolls out and pulls Eddie away. Billy gets up and extends a handshake to Chuck, but Chuck looks at him like he's a dork and walks out of the ring. All right. The final segment of week 3, Ali and Sammy face Rhino and Sheik in the main event. Rhino is dominant in the match, and he gores Ali 2 times for unsuccessful pins and hits one on Sami Zayn for a 2 count. Sheik gets irritated waiting and tags himself in to lock Sami Zayn in the camel clutch. Rhino gores Sheik and repeatedly gores them all until the show ends. Final week of the build. Before we get to actual Wrestlepalooza, I know this is long. Most of this is builds for like 4 of my matches, so the rest will go quicker than this. The final malice before Wrestlepalooza opens with Mustafa Ali saying, "In 2 weeks' time, Wrestlepalooza will be over. The King of the Ring tournament will be finished, and Mustafa Ali will be on his way to Final Destination to dethrone either MJF or Jeff Hardy. To some, this may sound hard to believe. The odds aren't in my favor. I was the last to make this tournament. I have the worst record in hell. If it matters to you, Vegas is betting on everyone but me. I'll tell you why I believe it. You see, there's been a lot of times where misfortune struck my career and I was never quite able to recover. I lost my love for wrestling and I collected a paycheck to get by. I was a ghost in the locker room, on autopilot in the ring. I went home one night 6 months ago and I told my wife that I don't want to do this anymore. I didn't feel like there was a place for me in wrestling. I didn't feel like this business was ever going to get better. I was ready to call Mark Cuban and quit. And that's when she looked at me and she said, go do something about it. And that's when my light turned back on and I began paving my path towards the BBW Championship. And as he says this, the riff of Beautiful Thieves by AFI plays, and out come the Model Citizens. That's their theme song.
Who was this?
Mustafa Ali's just cut that promo.
Okay, thank you.
And then Model Citizens are coming out. Their theme song is Beautiful Thieves by AFI. It's a banger. And Cody says, throughout that insufferable monologue, you were right about only one thing. There is no place for people like you in wrestling. Over your entire career, you've whined about this business and you've whined about America. Both of those things were once great when they were built around people who look like me. When ugly people like you were included, that is when it all went wrong. I, the American Dreamboat, Cody Rhodes, and these 2 British bombshells came together as a group of model citizens with 2 goals in mind: to make wrestling hot again and to make America hot again. And step 1 is to get your stupid face off this television screen. Step 2, sorry, lost my place. God damn it, I just scrolled like way up. My bad.
Mike, we gonna need that shirt. Make wrestling hot again.
All right. Step 2 is to win King of the Ring so America can have a beautiful champion that it can be proud of. Ali turns around after Cody says this, and Rhino is in the ring and gores him with Jimmy Hart cheering into the megaphone. And Iron Sheik comes out with the Daivaris, and a brawl breaks loose. Sheik throws Jimmy Hart over the announce table. Sami Zayn comes down to fight Sheik until LeVar Ball comes out and announces one more match for the King of the Ring contestants to scout each other in a 4 corners tag match with teams of 4. Just before this match takes place, the underclass gang are seen backstage. seen beating down Chuck Palumbo in the parking lot before Billy Gunn makes a save with a lead pipe. Billy helps Chuck up, but Chuck shoves him, yelling, "I was gonna be all right. Why do you keep following me around like I need your help?" And then Billy yells, "Clearly you do need my help. We both want to take out Eddie and Taz, and you've seen what we can do together." Chuck shakes his head and says, "I've seen your matches lately. I'm not interested." That night, the 4 teams are Ali, Kofi, Big E, Billy Gunn, The Rock, Paul London, Alex Zane, Sami Zayn, The Miz, Cody Rhodes, Eddie Kingston, Taz, Booker T, Iron Sheik, Rhino, Owen Hart. The match is chaotic, and it seems impossible to get a finish until Alex Zane shooting stars into a big crowd of them on the outside. Eddie Kingston takes out Zane outside and goes back into the ring, where a legal man, Billy Gunn, hits him with a fame asser and pins him for the win. And the final weekly show before King of the Ring is Billy Gunn standing tall over Eddie Kingston with a final rush of momentum and commentary saying it's anyone's game from there. So now we're to WrestlePalooza Night 1, where the results of the opening round are Eddie Kingston.
We didn't even get to the first night yet.
We are now.
Jesus Christ. Okay, go ahead.
So I told y'all this is gonna be this is the build for like 4 matches.
We're gonna be an hour
good.
into the show before you tell us what the fucking
like
the
4
matches.
4 matches aren't gonna have.
This is
like,
PTC all over again.
No, because
Worse.
Listen,
I would have at least given you at
Listen.
least graded something by now. Fuck off.
listen. Like 4 matches aren't gonna have builds because this is the build. So this is gonna save time later, and make more sense. So Eddie Kingston beats Kofi Kingston off a distraction as Taz cheap shots a New Day with a chair outside the ring. So Eddie Kingston wins. Ali gets beaten down viciously by Rhino in the match and eats 2 gores. However, he is able to hold on and get the win. So Ali beats Rhino. Owen Hart and Big E have a hard-fought brawl, but as Owen takes control, the music of Eddie Guerrero hits, but Eddie never comes out. And Owen stands on the rope screaming at Eddie to get his ass out here and come fight. He goes for a twisting crossbody off the rope he's standing on, but it's caught and hit with a big ending. So Big E defeats Owen Hart with the distraction of Eddie Guerrero's music. Cody Rhodes decisively wins a fast-paced indie-style match with Alex Zane. The Rock and Booker T main event. They're on the. This isn't in order, but they do main event night 1 and put on a banger with a lot of signature moves, very Attitude Era-esque. But The Rock gets the win. Taz defeats Billy Gunn, and they jump Billy Gunn after the match, but Chuck Palumbo returns and runs them off. Billy extends his hand to Chuck for a handshake, but Chuck hugs Billy to the cheer of the crowd. In the next match, Paul London misses a big dive. The Miz punishes him, mocking The Rock's moves, hitting things like the Rock Bottom and the People's Elbow, making an example out of Paul London as he wins the match. And the Iron Sheik beats the hell out of Sami Zayn the entire match, but Sammy pulls the rope down as Iron Sheik charges at him. Sammy dives through the turnbuckle for the Tornado DDT. Sheik is unable to make the 10 count. Sammy survives. Sheik loses his fucking mind after the match, though, beats down Sammy, the Daivaris, and tears up the arena on night 1. So Iron Sheik is going crazy, but he loses to Sami Zayn. We are now to WrestlePalooza Night 2. Eddie Kingston tells Taz to stay back and rest for his match, and he'll make quick work of Ali. Eddie Kingston gets control after a missed dive to the outside, but eats a nasty super kick to the head, allowing Ali to lock in a Koji clutch and make Eddie Kingston tap out. Cody beats Big E after reversing a big ending into a crossroads and putting his feet onto the ropes, so Cody Rhodes wins. The Rock defeats Taz after Eddie tries to get involved, but Billy Gunn evens the odds. After the match, Billy has a mic on the ramp and says, "Now that you're both free tomorrow night, you both can drag your asses out and fight me and my partner, Chuck Palumbo." And then Billy's music plays and the crowd cheers. So the match is announced. Billy and Chuck will face the Underclass Gang at night 3. Miz and Sami Zayn have a great match that ends with the Miz hitting a skull-crushing finale outside the ring. Sami is holding his head like he's seriously hurt, but he gets up at 7. Seething in anger, the Miz goes back out and hits a reality check onto the floor. Sami is left to be counted out as he receives medical attention. When the match is called, Miz gets a microphone and says, "Dwayne, you blubbering idiot, I hope you're listening to me clearly. This moment is mine. This weekend is mine. This company is mine. This weekend will be the one where I am solidified as the biggest star in this industry, and I get the respect that I deserve. Dwayne, you will never try to humiliate me again. Tomorrow night, I will defeat The Rock, and I will make mystery. Smell that, bitch. And then throws down the mic. All right. So that is the end of the video package, the entire King of the Ring build. So we're ready for the first semifinal match. This is where I get rated.
I took notes, but I want to get my score together first.
I didn't take notes, but I really like the stuff with the Miz. I love Cody. I like that you leaned in with The Rock. You said you didn't like cower or like change your mind, even though we told you we didn't like it. You just went forward with it. So I actually like that. I'm gonna give you a 5.
Let's go.
There was nothing I really hated. Like, I liked a lot of it. It was long. It was a lot, but I liked it.
Like I said, four matches aren't going to need builds before them now, though. So it makes more sense this way.
Well, I'm going to be the hater here.
Well, what else is fucking new?
Exact opposite. I hated everything about this. The only thing I liked was that one Miz promo. I'm not even going to lie to you. I hated it all. I went with a 0.5. I feel like if you were going to do The Rock doing that, I feel like you could have had the regular promo and then threw in the like a Bofa joke. That would have been fine. I would have been straight with that. But it just wouldn't stop. It just wouldn't stop. So yeah, it was.
Those are the hits now. It's been.
In BBW, this is the hits. That's the thing. In BBW's canon, this is what he's been doing.
I know, but it's too much. It was too much. It was too much. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. And then I don't like the throw 3 different things into one thing. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't think that this.
I feel like, in my opinion, that's not fair because I feel like anybody can have a weaker build and just throw it in with a stronger build and just be like, well, okay, like I can get that. That's my way of getting the point.
Can I explain why I did it this way? Because I have like that, but also if I had tried to like separate all these interactions into only like this is the build for the semifinal match and it's talking about like 7 other dudes, it wouldn't have made sense.
It would have made sense because you'd have been leading up to the story between the 2 matches of the 2 people.
But why would I have an interaction, for example, between the Iron Sheik and Sami Zayn for Mustafa Ali versus Cody Rhodes?
You don't have to.
I mean,
it happens. Cut that out.
It happens. I mean, I did that. I'm gonna say I did that.
I said all of my stories intercross, so like I constantly have interactions between people that aren't in the match included in my builds.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to just have a bunch of interactions and just jumble up the builds to all these matches. I have to write them separately. I wanted to put it all in one place, so where it made sense.
Yeah, and the Model Citizens felt very. It felt like what Travis did too, as well. So I wanted.
It's because you're not hot. That's why we need to make America hot again.
I'm just letting you know why I gave you the score I gave you. So don't think I'm hating like that. I'm just telling you.
Well, you already said you're going to be the hater, and you.
I mean, I am going to be the hater here because he gave you a 5. I was going 0.5, so I was like, woof. Yeah. So I didn't like it. I feel like I don't know. I just feel like the hate I got for what I did.
This is way better than
and this happened. It's just like
this is way better than every moment of this is better than any moment with O'Reilly.
Even the Ligma balls and Sugma Wiener.
That was insufferable. In my opinion, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like wrestling died a little bit when I had to listen to that.
Good. I hope you don't love wrestling too much anymore.
I
hope you love it less, so you'll be less of a fucking dork.
Travis, go ahead and do my phrase for me.
He wasn't mildly disappointing. He was absolutely disgusted.
There you go.
Mike, you got a number, or you want me to go?
I'd like you to go, please.
Okay.
No, I want Mike to go. I demand that Mike go next.
Okay, Mike's got to go.
You're gonna make Mike mad. Stop it.
I don't even know. Like, there was just so fucking much.
I agree. This was too much.
That there was too. I think that
and that's coming from me.
It was 40 minutes. It was about 40 minutes of talking.
Keep in mind, 4 matches aren't going to need builds before them.
It doesn't matter. You should have done that because now I'm going to forget what the fuck the build was.
Right. Because that was no longer a video package. That was straight you just telling us 4 builds at once.
Well, it was like actually like 16 builds, but
no, but it doesn't matter. Okay, then that makes it worse.
There's 16 people interacting. It's not about
I'm
the 4
giving
people
you a
wrestling.
2.5 because I'm trying to average out everything I fucking heard. We're going to 2.5.
Okay. So I'm gonna look like a good guy here. I kind of like that. So the Miz promos, fire.
Thank you.
The Cody Rhodes promos, fire. The Alex Zane hot oil segment, love that shit.
Thank you.
The Rock promos, garbage.
Okay.
The Mustafa Ali promos, I'm rating like each of these things I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
I gave them a score and then I averaged that out.
Okay.
I give that a 3.75. I thought that was pretty fucking good.
Thank you.
The Owen Hart, I think that was just mid. Like it was just everything with Owen Hart was just kind of just there.
Okay.
Like I don't think he really needed to be involved in this. I get why he was. You got him out in the first round to continue that Eddie story. I'm not mad at it.
Okay.
New Day, where the fuck were they? Like they were there for like 1 segment. It felt like they got yelled at and left.
Yeah.
Rhino, he gored somebody. I don't know. Remember him being anywhere else?
He was the Jimmy Hart promo too.
Okay.
He's with Jimmy Hart.
Okay. So I'll give you an extra dime on my total score for that.
Hell yeah.
Because I did like a Jimmy Hart promo. I just forgot it happened because it's so fucking long.
My bad.
Booker T was there for that one promo where he sounded like Paul Phoenix, and that was it. So I gave that a 1. I think that the Chuck Palumbo, Billy Gunn, Eddie Kingston, Taz stuff was pretty good, like above mid. It was like a 3.5. The women's stuff, I thought you still fell flat. I don't even remember who you said won the title.
Shotzi won the title.
I don't know if that was a great idea.
Shotzi-
You released Thunder Rosa for assing it up and then gave Shotzi Blackheart the fucking title. Shut the fuck up.
Shotzi's better.
I'm taking that
than Thunder
dime back
Rosa.
that I gave you for Jimmy Hart now. That pissed me off.
Shotzi's better than Thunder.
Granted, I meant to change, like, that was one of the 3 things I was gonna change and just like, fuck it, I ain't got enough time. Like,
Young Boy was a 1. I didn't think that really. I thought that was kind of stupid. And then the matches, I gave you a 3.5. I think the right guys won in most of the matches, if not all of them, and they were decent. So overall, I'm gonna give you a 2.65.
alright, I feel like you said a lot of like 3-point stuff, but they're still average 2.
Well, because there's like 3 fucking .5s in there.
No, I really think he's about to get my higher score.
No, so I'll tell you what I got. The Miz promos 5, Cody Rhodes promos 5, Alex Zane Hot Oil 5, The Rock 0.5, Mustafa Ali 3.75, Owen Hart 2.5, New Day 0.5, Rhino 1, Booker T 1, Billy Gunn, Chuck Palumbo, Eddie Kingston, Taz 3.5, Women's Stuff 2, Young Boy 1, Matches 3.5.
Can I explain why the people who weren't very present?
Yeah, your score's not gonna change for sure.
Fair enough. They just didn't matter that much to the story. But anyways.
But I get what you were going for, John. Because it is hard to do a tournament and build everybody like in one thing. Like
That's gonna be
Almost
chaotic.
it's hard to do a tournament.
That's gonna be a chaotic rating. It's got a 5, a 0.5, and like 2 mid-2s. That's gonna be chaos.
You're gonna be at a 2.5 or slightly above. You're probably gonna be right around the 2.6 because Mike and Kenny can't. Or I'm sorry, Damone and Kenny cancel each other out.
Right. Yeah.
And then me and Mike was mid, so he doesn't count either because he's gonna be what their equal is.
Well,
So
5
you're
and
gonna come down
0.5
to
in the
my
middle is gonna
vote.
be 3. So y'all are gonna probably drag it below a 3. Like 2.7 or something. Anyways, now the first match of the semifinals is gonna take place with Mustafa Ali versus Cody Rhodes. And
It's a 2.75.
I just want you to know that there
Before.
was good stuff in there. There was just too much for me to going on to grade everything
Yeah, so on
individually.
record
I just
saying
feel
I
like
don't
there was
like-
just too much.
A 5 and a 0.5 equals out to be a 2.75, and then you got a 2.66 on that.
That's
build.
valid. All right. So Mustafa Ali versus Cody Rhodes. So Stephen A. Smith does a split screen interview before the match. Real quick,
Stephen A. split is a
Stephen A.
wild.
split. And he has, starting with you, Ali. What are your thoughts before this high stakes match? And Ali says, throughout this tournament and throughout my life, I've come face to face with a lot of doubters. None bigger than Cody Rhodes. Cody dreams of a world where everyone looks like him. Cody forgets. What Cody forgets is that that wouldn't include his father. He's completely lost the plot of the American dream, but it's going to be his American nightmare when a guy named Mustafa Ali with a face like mine becomes the BBW World Champion. And Cody responds, it truly is a nightmare that someone related to me paved the path for someone like you. It would be an American horror story if your face got any more screen time. That is why it is my solemn duty of the model citizens to keep that from happening. You see, the only thing my father got right is creating me. My path to erasing his fat, ugly legacy begins with erasing you. And then for the attires, Mustafa Ali is wearing black tights with yellow accents and LEDs. Cody is wearing half pink suede tights with half gold leather. And then all three of the model citizens come out in Versace robes for their entrance. All right, so here's the spots. Cody uses his size to overpower Ali multiple times, shaking his ass and adjusting his hair each time. Ali hits the ropes. Cody throws an elbow. Ali stops. Cody thinks he connected and poses. Ali turns him around and punches him in the mouth. Ali goes for a springboard crossbody, but Cody reverses into an Orton-style power slam. Cody goes for a Cody cutter, but gets drop kicked out of the air. Pin attempt 2 count. Ali goes for a tilt-a-whirl head scissor, but Cody reverses that into a backbreaker. Cody throws Ali into the corner, who HBK sells up. Cody grabs the head and does a hip-swinging Rick Rude-style neckbreaker. He gets frustrated by the 2 count, hits a disaster kick, another 2. Cody goes for the crossroads, but Ali twists Cody back around for an X Factor. Ali gets a comeback with multiple big strikes, leading to a springboard moonsault DDT. 1, 2, but Kit and Elton jump on the apron to distract the count. Ali glares over at them and then springboard drop kicks them both to the floor. As he gets up, Cody throws Ali into the ring post and then moonsaults onto him. Pin attempt 2. Ali goes for a super kick, misses after another distraction from Pretty Deadly, who are then booted from ringside by the ref. Cody hits a European uppercut and grabs Ali for crossroads, but as Cody does the twist of the crossroads, Ali twists it over one more time and hits the crossroads on Cody. He sees Cody out cold and hears the crowd chanting 054, which he delivers for the 1, 2, 3. Mustafa Ali is making it to the finals.
L. Cody Rhodes should have won.
Ratio. Plus no bitches.
Ugh. Also, Muhammad Hassan is disappointed in Mustafa Ali.
For
We'll put
what?
that out there. For being a hero to these white children.
He's getting the Uncle Ahmed from him, too.
Yeah.
He already did that story with Iron Sheik.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Well, Asylum's about to come over here and whoop his ass now. They're going to get the job done, though, because when the towers fall, they stay falling. You know what I'm saying?
God damn.
God damn, Travis.
But this time it won't be an inside job.
Why do we let you do this?
Who's going to stop me?
Right?
George W. Bush.
Who's rating first?
He couldn't stop himself.
God.
Anyway,
Mike, thanks.
who's rating?
I don't have a number. Fuck.
Keith, Kenny or Mike?
Wow.
I don't have a number yet. I'm still deciding between 2 numbers.
Mike?
Mike can go first for the first time ever.
Yeah, you go first, Mike. And give us reasons.
Yeah, because you never do.
$5.
Yeah!
Why?
Why?
I don't know. I liked it.
That's enough for me, baby.
I hate Mike so much.
That's enough for me, baby.
So I really like the promos from both guys. I really like the promos from Cody too, like saying he's gonna erase the legacy of his fat father by getting rid of Ali. I don't mind Ali winning. I wouldn't have been upset if either guy won. I'm also gonna give you a 5.
Let's fucking go.
Your show's fire so far.
Thank you.
I'm not giving you a 5.
That's fine.
Like I said, I think the wrong guy won here. I think Cody has a lot more gas in the tank than Ali does.
That's fair.
I think you're pushing Ali based on your own personal preferences and not based on the character you have in front of you. His character right now is a little weak.
He's overcoming the odds.
Didn't you just say you
not-
liked his promos?
I said they're mid.
You said they're above mid.
Okay, so they're
And
there's either way.
So
I
you-
gave Cody Rhodes a 5 on his promos.
that's fair. But keep in mind,
So
who's
and this is all
champion.
relative. So this isn't like a in the world. You know what I mean? I'm comparing Ali to Cody Rhodes.
Yeah,
Excuse me, sorry.
but also keep in mind that who's the champion at the moment?
Who's the what?
Who's the world champion?
I don't care. I'm just telling you who's better than Push.
Just doing some basic storytelling here. But
That's
all right,
great. I just
continue.
don't think that's that. Okay.
That's valid.
I did think the match was good. I thought the promos were good. I just think Cody should have won.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a 4.25.
Damn, I'll take
I'm
that.
very invested in Cody Rhodes, not so much in Ali. So that's a whole 75 cents just
Well,
on the.
Cody's
the
got
winner
some stuff
alone.
coming. Don't worry. Cody
Okay,
got some good
well.
stuff.
The American Dream.
We don't
Boat.
have much left to give.
The
Hey.
American Dream Boat is a
You
fire.
only got 2 more
nickname.
shows.
Cody's got good stuff coming. Trust me. Trust the process.
2 more shows is a lot, to be honest.
And,
It
it's
really
a,
is.
and Travis is a 2-month build between this and my next show, so Cody's got a lot of time to do shit.
All right. I know Cody Rhodes is gonna be a menace in PTC.
Well, I gave you a nice jumping off point. What do you think, Kenny?
I gave it a 4.
I'll take that. Thanks, Kenny. All right. This one's going to be a little bit of a drop because I know it's got a controversial person in it. The Rock versus The Miz. So Stephen A. Smith gets their thoughts before the match as well. The Rock stretches his neck, raises the eyebrow, and says, "Finally, The Rock has come back to Miami. It seems the jizz is worked up at the Great One. Perhaps that is because he has not had a taste of Maurice's poontang pie in so long that his balls have shriveled up into his candy ass. The Rock does not respect The Miz, fear The Miz, or even trust The Miz to get The Rock's order right in a Taco Bell drive-thru. Stephen A., have you heard about The Miz's fitness?" No. "Fitness dick in your mouth!" Miz says with a red, angry face, "Dwayne, I am above this. You should have been above this a long time ago. I am disgusted that this behavior has gotten you by for so long, but tonight I turn your comedy into tragedy. No one will be laughing when the skull-crushing finale turns your infantile brain to mush and the silver screen stands over you holding your fame, money, and dignity that we've always deserved. Thanks for the interview, Steve." And then for the attires, The Rock wears one of his vintage 90s style long sleeve shirts over his signature black trunks. The Miz is wearing a glitzy purple jacket and boots, with his trunk being white and purple. So for the spots, Miz and Rock finally have their stare down in the middle of the ring. Miz slaps Rock in the face. Rock looks at the crowd, sticks his neck out, raises the eyebrow. Miz goes for a punch, but The Rock takes controls with his signature punch combo. Miz repeatedly uses rope breaks to create distance. Rock looks over at the Bollywood boys and calls them sussy bakas. I forgot I wrote that. That's funny. Miz chop blocks him from there and starts stomping on him while he's down. Miz hits the it kicks and his swinging DDT, pin attempt in 2. Miz waits for him to get up and then hits the knee for a reality check, but The Rock reverses it in rock bottom position. Miz scurries away and runs outside the ring. Rock follows him to the outside, double clotheslines the Bollywood boys. Miz gets back in the ring. As The Rock re-enters, Miz dragon whips his leg into the rope. Rock is able to fight his way up as the crowd claps him alive. He eventually takes complete control with big punches and a vertical suplex. He then mocks The Miz's taunt when The Miz gets up. The Miz is met with a rock bottom. The Rock sticks his neck out and gets a huge ovation from the crowd that knows the people's elbow is coming. The Rock throws the elbow pad into the crowd, and as he's hitting the ropes, Sunil Singh distracts the ref, and when The Rock returns back to the rope, Samir Singh hits The Rock's leg with a kendo stick. The Rock turns around to threaten Samir, and The Miz gets up and hooks The Rock's arms from behind to hit a skull-crushing finale. Miz drags Rock into the center of the ring, starts going for a pin, and starts shaking his head with a dickhead smirk. He then starts to lock in the figure 4. The Rock is visibly trying to try to scratch his way to the ropes, pounding the ring, trying to get some form of momentum. But he's visibly fading from all the pain. Miz punches Rock's leg that's been worked on all match over and over, trying to get him to finally give up, and until The Rock finally goes limp. The Rock's fighting. The Miz is punching his leg, just trying to get him to give up. And The Rock finally goes limp from the pain. The ref does the arm test, and as it drops for the 3rd time, the dismay of a quiet crowd hears The Miz get announced the winner, and the ref repeatedly has to get the bell rang as he holds on to the figure 4, still punching the Rock's leg until the Bollywood boys pull him off.
Okay, the only thing I don't know if I like the ending, like the finish of him like having him pass out to the figure 4, because like the Miz has a decent figure 4, but it's not like when I think of the Miz, I don't think the figure 4.
And BBW, he has a deadly figure 4.
He just made the Rock fucking pass out from it. So
yeah, the Rock is a legend.
I'm gonna give you a 4. I don't think this match is as good as the other match. And like I'd rather he just have beat him with the either if he was gonna lock in the figure 4, the Rock tap, or just him hit the skull crushing finale for the
I was
win.
between having him tap and having him pass out.
Yeah. But yeah, I was still gonna give you a 4. I think overall it was good. I like the promos from the Miz. The Miz's promos have been fire tonight. And like I said, you're leaning into the Rock thing, so that's his character. I'm not gonna crush you for it. So
That's fair. I know that there's 2 people here that will, but that's fine. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew some people wouldn't like it. I knew it would be polarizing, but I was like, fuck it, I'll have fun with it. It got roasted last time.
You ever heard the phrase "less is more"?
Yep.
Yeah. It should have been less.
Hey,
Wow.
you were the one that was like in the chat the most, like saying, I can't wait for both Rock, and I was like, oh,
because I thought we were gonna get one joke. We got the damn.
I made it his whole fucking gimmick. Grade school Rock. I'm rolling with it.
Everything he says is like this.
Hey, he had a normal sounding promo until he did fitness in the Stephen A interview.
Yeah, that's what made me mad. Is it was like calling him the Jizz. That was good. Like that was a way that you could work in that like grade school humor. But the problem is you kept going. Like
That's how I feel. So I give you a 2.75.
Okay.
I don't hate this.
Thank you.
I think The Rock overall had a decent promo. Miz had a fire promo.
Thank you.
The match was good. The winner was the right one.
Thank you.
I'm gonna give you a 4.
Thank you. Damn, I didn't expect that. So we're gonna take a break from King of the Ring. Well, actually, sorry. There's a quick after the match. Sorry, I should have had this.
Mike has to vote.
Oh yeah, sorry. Before Mike votes, I want to include. I don't know if it's gonna change it at all, but sorry, I should have said this beforehand, but it shouldn't be rated by itself. It was a part of this. I just forgot to read it. So if you want to change your ratings based on this, it's fine. LeVar Ball comes out with the Miz stands victorious, and he says, basically, there's been a little bit more interference in this round than he'd like to see. He will not let the finals be decided that way. He tells the Miz that he'll be facing Mustafa Ali tonight in a steel cage match. It's in the finals. That changes your ratings?
It doesn't.
Okay. So he's facing the steel cage.
No, I almost gave you like a dime. Yeah, give him a dime. I like the idea of it being in a steel cage because there has been a shit ton of interference in the whole tournament. So,
All right.
and there's been count outs and stuff. So I kind of like that idea of a steel cage.
I enjoyed it. I thought the right person won. Even though I think we got a little too many of the jokes that didn't get over the first time or the second or the fourth time.
Listen, I didn't know that the second, third, and fourth time wouldn't get over. I only knew it didn't get over the first.
Well, when they didn't go over the first, you should have been like, huh.
Well, I can't scrap a mid-show. They're there. Like
I scrap things mid-show. I just improvise.
I'm not
Mike,
improvising.
didn't you change the winner of a match one time mid-show?
Yeah, I improvise a lot.
He did that, and we hated it. We wanted him. He should have kept it the way it was.
Listen,
right.
I wrote the jokes. They're there.
There's some things that I've improvised that you guys have loved. So
that's fair.
I don't care. Mike's the go. He's in there freestyling.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm a lyrical miracle.
What did I get? Did I give it to you yet?
You didn't give me the number.
4.25.
I'll take that. Thank you.
Mike loves this show.
So far, it's been pretty good.
We're taking a break
I
from.
love the show the most.
I fell asleep during the
Damone's
video
my fucking
package,
man.
But I won't back.
I'm giving Damone a
Mike,
Philly
how many
cheesesteak and some head after this.
How many pizzas did you go? Hold
I'll
up.
take it.
Hold up. How many pizzas did you get during that fucking?
I went
Promo
to Little
package.
Caesars. I picked up about 4.
Hey,
Got them on
I'm glad
plates.
Mike wasn't offended. He was just bored. I'll take that.
Well, that's what happened with my match too. When he got
That's
all
fair.
the fucking pizzas, he was just bored.
That's fair.
That's usually what happens.
I
I
was
get
offended.
angry. I get bored. I walk away.
See, this was the vision I had, just to kind of go back to the beginning. Like when I went through like an hour of build, I went through 2 matches in like 15 minutes. So we are taking a break from King of the Ring. The finals are later. And the next up match is going to be for the Workhorse Championship. And I'm going to tell you how this happens. So week 1 of the build.
I don't know why that's so funny. Just the way
Y'all
you said that.
cackling laughing like I said something wrong.
No, it's just
Shit,
the
I'm
way
gonna
you
tell
said
how
it.
this happened.
I'm gonna tell you how it happened.
So General Manager LeVar Ball is seen on the phone yelling, "I don't care if he's busy. Get Simon Dean on the phone this instant." This Simon? Listen, Simon, I'm sick of your company holding my title hostage. Why wait? Let's negotiate right now. So you're not hearing the other side of the conversation. You're just hearing his. I don't care if he's a private contractor. Y'all have my belt. So you're gonna be here next week to talk? Zoom, $30. Damn it, Simon. You're gonna pay for this, cause I'm LeVar Ball and I never. And then he realizes that the call got hung up and he puts down the phone all embarrassed. So week 2, LeVar is shown in his office having his kids show him how to work Zoom. He gets on the call and the executives for all companies are trying to make an offer to permanently sign Brian Cage. You see David Arquette representing TCW, Shane McMahon representing RCW, Travi T representing PTC, and an unnamed executive from DPW because Kenny never gave me one. Fuck him.
Hey, goddamn.
So
He never asked me.
I did. I DM'd you. Go
Oh,
check.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, fuck
He
you.
left you on red.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
left
I
on red by
didn't
Kenny. So Kenny lowballs Cage, I guess.
We'll just say it's Vladimir Kozlov.
Vladimir Kozlov representing DPW.
Why didn't TDJ go?
Oh yeah, it should have been
Because he's
TJ.
got bigger things to deal with right now.
So Arquette offers Cage 2 years, $1 million. Simon points up, like saying, "Hey, I want more." RCW offers four years, $4 million. Simon cringes, and then he's like, I don't know. And Travis T yells, 1 year, $3 million. And then LeVar says, well, if it's money you want, we got the deepest pockets. Give me a number and a length, and he can have it.
That's
Simon,
definitely not true.
listen, Mark Cuban's a billionaire.
You'll see next week.
Fair enough.
I don't know how much money Primetime Travis T got in this fucking universe. I'm
Simon
the first
says-
zillionaire.
Shut the fuck up. Bro, you ain't even got like triple digits right now. Shut your ass up.
Oh my god! Stop this!
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm hurt.
Sorry.
I'm broke too. Don't do that.
John trying to lose money on this build. Okay, I like it. I see you.
I'm just
We had to
fucking
give
around.
you our money.
Simon says, well, Brian appreciates your contract offers. He enjoys his status as an independent contractor through Simon System Incorporated. Brian will only be signing deals for individual shows, fulfilling his championship requirement of defending every week. From that moment, Travis T's like, oh, motherfucker, and just hangs up. LeVar says, well, Wrestlepalooza Festival. How about that? Big blockbuster match, beautiful Miami weather, electric crowd, and I can promise you the biggest match of Brian's career. Take it or leave it. Dean says he agrees, but he wants to read the terms. And then Ball says that they need to meet in person next week if he wants to hear if he wants to see the terms. Next week, LeVar Ball rolls out the red carpet for Brian, and they'll meet in the ring and discuss the terms of the match. LeVar is sitting across the table from Dean and Cage, saying, the terms should match everything you were promised last week. Brian will be defending his title on Wrestlepalooza's third night on pay-per-view in Miami. I promised you the biggest match of Brian's career, and I have delivered. He will defend the Workhorse Championship in an Extreme Elimination Chamber match. While the crowd is done cheering, Simon says, against who? It has nothing but question marks here where his opponent should be listed. This is ridiculous. Brian will not be giving you his services under these demands. LeVar says, well, now that you're in my building, Brian will sign this contract or he will relinquish this belt right now. Cage gets mad and quickly signs the contract while Dean is like trying to get him to stop. So Cage just signs the contract. Dean doesn't want him to do it. And LeVar continues, if you want to know who he's facing, you'll have to join me on Zoom next week. 2 steps ahead, never lost.
Stop it right here. 5.
You trying to plug on the show?
I like it. It's smart businessman. That's why he never lost.
The Zoom
He
meeting is
lost.
briefly shown on the Ballertron. LeVar says, Simon, it's been a fun ride having Brian as the Workhorse champion, but I'm getting tired of you both. You want to take my title to other promotions? That's all well and good. I brought the other promotions straight to you. Brian will be facing PTC's Tyler Breeze, DPW's Will Ospreay, TCW's RVD and Rey Mysterio, and a free agent independent star Iron Demon Shane Mercer. And
Wait, RCW didn't refuse to.
I was never offered.
I guess. Guess RCW didn't give me one of these wrestlers.
TCW gave
You
you two,
didn't
but RCW
ask.
didn't put even one in there. Oof.
I
You
swear
literally didn't ask.
I hoarded Cena out for something for you. I forget what it was though. I think I traded Cena to you for something that I used in another segment. Not
I'm
this.
sure you did. I mean, I made a lot of wheelings and dealings, so I don't know.
We made the same trade. I just used it differently. Anyways.
Nah, he said RCW sucks. man.
RCW stands for Rejected Championship Wrestling.
Wow.
That's why you're a bitch
totally-
and I'm beating you.
Totally canceled. Totally canceled
Yow.
wrestling. Got 2 fucking people in there. You couldn't even get one. That's. You should be mad at John. To be honest, you should rate this.
I-
movie.
No,
I booked him elsewhere.
He could not afford my talent to put in his match.
That's right. His show was.
Remember
Well,
when,
how much
uh,
Tyler Breeze cost?
Remember when I was sending out shots and you rated me low because I didn't send you a shot? Go ahead and think about that, Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened?
I made this trade with Mike. I just used it elsewhere.
When
Mike
Kenny
did the
was
same
sending out
exact
shots
trade. These
and
are
he didn't
all
give you a shot,
these
you
are
did
all
more
John
score.
Cena trades. Mike already got what he wanted on the John Cena trade.
Yeah, I
Fuck
know.
off.
I got John Cena. So
Yeah.
I just
fuck
want to
off.
be treated equally and fairly. That's it.
You did. Fuck off. Simon Dean says, "You've got to be kidding me. You can't do this. You're going to hear from Simon System Incorporated lawyers." And Cage moves Simon out of the way, that pushes him to the side and says, "Light work, no problem." So here's the attires.
Wait, you said Rey Mysterio was in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is Mike's. Mike has Rey Mysterio.
Why did I think
Oh.
you had
Mike-
Rey Mysterio?
No, Mike does. Mike doesn't even know his own talent.
I honestly thought I had Rey Mysterio. Here's the thing.
Not
I
bad.
thought I had Rey Mysterio,
I got jumbled up.
but there was also a good chance that somebody else also had Rey Mysterio. So
My bad. So yes, RCW's Rey Mysterio. There you
That's
go.
why for a second there, I'm like, TCW has Ray. I don't remember having Ray.
I thought I
I
had
looked
Rey
it up.
Mysterio, but then I also thought that at one point somebody else said they also had Rey Mysterio, so I didn't know
Who fucking
if
knows?
they were mine or somebody loaned them to me. So I just kind of shrugged.
So now everybody's represented. Yay. So for the attires, Cage is in a fit themed around Cyborg from the Teen Titans. Shane Mercer comes out in black and yellow tights. RVD is wearing the Red Dragon singlet he won Money in the Bank in. Tyler Breeze is wearing his gold Egyptian fit. Rey Mysterio comes out in a Miami Heat Vice-inspired fit. And then Will Ospreay comes out in the black and green with the fur coat. Pretty standard. All right. This match has a lot of spots, so I'm going to move kind of quick. Cage and Mercer start off the match as the first two. Cage immediately goes for a handspring kick, but Mercer catches him on his shoulders, runs over to the rope, and Widowmaker's Cage to the outside onto the steel. Pin attempt close to. Cage tried to climb the cage away to grab a hanging sledgehammer, but Mercer gets him into an electric chair position, and then electric chair German suplex, throwing Cage back inside the ring. Mercer goes for a pin, another close to. Cage rolls out of the ring as Tyler Breeze now enters the match. Breeze hits the ropes, rolls off the back, rolls off of Mercer's back, slides underneath and hits a drop kick, then poses for the crowd. He grabs his selfie stick and cracks Mercer in the head with it, and then hits him with a Russian leg sweep with the selfie stick. Breeze sees Mercer getting up as he poses in the corner. He hits a crossbody into a tornado DDT, spiking Mercer. Cage approaches from behind with a chair, but Breeze supermodel kicks it into his face. He then tosses the chair at Mercer, who catches it, and then he beauty shots the chair into Mercer's face. Mysterio enters the match next, bringing in a ladder out of his pod. He leans it up against the pod. He runs up the ladder onto the pod and then front flips onto Breeze and Mercer. Cage appears from behind and steps on Ray's stomach before hitting a standing moonsault. Breeze is the first to get up from this and then challenges Cage to a pose off. They both pose, and as Breeze starts to hit a second pose, Cage sets the chair up right behind him, grabs Breeze and hits the drill claw, which is a vertical suplex pile driver onto the upright chair, and pins Breeze. Tyler Breeze is eliminated. Will Ospreay enters the match, but sneaks around as the others fight in the ring. Will gets weapons down and starts spreading them around, setting up a table outside the ring. He then starts climbing up the chamber to the top. Ray hits Brian Cage at the 619. Mercer lifts him up into powerbomb position, and Ray West Coast pops him off of Mercer's shoulders. Pin attempt for a shocking 2. RVD enters the match. Ray and Shane signal for him to 5-star cage. Hit the 5-star frog splash on the cage. RVD does that, and as the others pile on to pin Cage, the ref starts counting. Ospreay does a falling moonsault from the top of the chamber, disrupting the pin, leaving everyone in a heap.
Why'd he do that?
I don't know. Ego.
Shit,
And you
Remember
know,
when John had a guild?
almost hit a gill. It's almost me.
John, did you see Bofa Rock?
What?
This is what Bofa Rock looks like.
Yeah, he says Ligma balls. All 5 lay in a heap. The crowd is chanting, "This is awesome." Ospreay gets up first and hits each of them with a Robinson special, which is a twisting forearm drop, and then hidden daggers, which is like that reverse elbow thing he does, onto each person in a circle until he attempts the hidden dagger on Mercer, who catches his arm, hoists Ospreay up, and border tosses him out of the ring through the table on the outside. Cage low blows Mercer right after that and then hits him with Weapon X, which is a gory special into a reverse STO to pin and eliminate Mercer. Cage
That's a good way to describe that move, because I had it listed as a backpack into an STO.
I just got it off of the fandom wiki.
I was watching YouTube videos. I was like, I don't know how the fuck to describe this move.
Cage turns around to a Van Daminator. He lays the chair on Cage and then hits a Rolling Thunder. RVD climbs up for another frog splash, but Cage kips up and throws RVD off the turnbuckle onto the ladder, still leaning up against the pod. He then grabs him and throws him through the glass of the adjacent pod and pins him. So RVD is eliminated. Rey Mysterio's on the other side fighting with Ospreay. When he takes control, he leans Ospreay against the steel, grabs onto the change, and swings off of them for a modified 619, kicking Ospreay into the steel and eliminating Ospreay. Only Cage and Mysterio remain. Rey tries leg kicks, rolling around him, and even a few chair shots to try to get an advantage. Cage, of course, gets the better of Rey because he's much bigger and tosses him into the corner where Rey tries to climb the pod to get away, but Cage follows. He then grabs Rey by like the mask and like the back of his tights and throws him off the pod, like basically makes Rey do a backflip off the pod straight onto his stomach. Cage then flips Rey with his foot and steps on him for the final pin, retaining the Workhorse Championship.
Who won?
Brian Cage.
Okay. I don't really have any like real criticisms. Like I don't think it's perfect. Like the build, I wouldn't say it was perfect, but I don't have anything I hate or anything. The match was really good. I'm fine with Brian Cage winning. You're making him like very dominant. I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
I'll take that. Damone's gonna average like a fucking 4.75. I'm here for it. If I have one fan, Damone is that. If I have 0 fans, Damone is dying.
I think this is okay. I think you're building it. I don't know if this is what's happening. I'm just gonna say what I feel like is happening.
All right.
It feels like we're building to a Brian Cage babyface turn over Simon Dean.
That's an
Because
interesting
Simon's
take.
trying to do all the pussy heel shit, and Brian Cage is like, nah, line him up and I'll knock him down. Like,
Yeah.
and I can see that becoming a fault point eventually. Maybe we get a payoff with Simon Dean versus Brian Cage. Seems like a fun match. It's not gonna be a good match, but it'll be a fun match. There's a difference.
Yeah, it's like one of those ones where like, you know, the person you pay to see get fucked up gets fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not watching that match hoping to see
Thinking like a 5-star
450s and shit. Yeah,
you want
like,
to see Brian Cage just fucking beat the fuck out of him.
Yeah, I want to see Simon Dean run away for 5 or 6 minutes and then finally get caught and destroyed in 3 minutes, and then the match is over.
That's fair. Glad you're invested in seeing the future.
I'm gonna be a 4. This is a good show so far. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you. I was really nervous after that long build. I was like, ah, shit, here we go again. But I'm picking it back up. So So I'm appreciative.
Yeah, I don't think that. I will say going forward, I don't think we should allow those super builds.
No,
like that.
I agree.
Because one, it's hard to pay attention to everything, but also, like Kenny said, you could just like put a weaker build in with a stronger build to make it feel better, and it's just
Yeah, that makes sense. I just didn't know how to approach the King of the Ring thing the best because I felt like after
Yeah.
you've had the 2 semifinal matches, I feel like a lot of that other shit would have felt weird. But if I didn't do that other shit, it would have been incomplete. So I don't know.
You may need to learn how to write your shows. Maybe break it up a little bit better as far as how you're going to plan what shows you're going to do.
Yeah, but
Because the way I see it is, if you're having that much trouble explaining it, that you had to do something like that, then maybe you might have to do a weekly.
that makes sense. To like at least have some of those interactions.
you tell him, Mike.
I actually think you could have done like maybe condense some of them.
Yeah.
Like not have gone into all the detail with all the stories.
Okay.
I think that's probably would have been the easiest solution would have been to do like a short build, like for the one side of the bracket, you explain what happened,
Yeah,
how
that
Ali
might
and
have
them
been-
got
yeah.
there, and then the other side of the bracket, you explain how the final 2 got there for
Yeah,
their part.
that makes
I think that
sense.
would have been the easier thing
Yeah.
to do.
I just wanted to
Also,
get-
is this the first like major tournament we've had?
I think so. I was just trying to like.
I don't know.
Well, no, Travis did the tag tournament, but that
It
was
was,
all
oh
matches.
yeah. That was in one
Yeah.
night
Yeah,
too.
but
that was all
yeah.
matches though. That was like no stories. I was trying to get everybody
Yeah.
promo time too. Like
Yeah, this
Yeah.
was a
because I was
Yeah.
building like a lot of characters got built in that time, so I'm thankful I
Yeah.
did it. Because like now we got like the Miz, Cody Rhodes, like all these
Yeah,
people built
true.
up.
yeah, and you can bury the Rock now. You don't never need to use him again.
We'll see.
I don't. I hope you don't.
I'm one of his millions and millions of fans.
Because here's the thing: unless he's going to continue the feud with the Miz, which I don't think he is, there's
That is the feud that continue is the
He's
Miz
gonna
and
need-
the Rock.
no, it's not. He needs to. They
Ligma
needs to
balls.
bury the Rock. I'm saying the Miz is carrying that feud right now by a lot. Like
I agree.
A
He's
lot.
carrying.
We don't
I
know what
wouldn't
the
say
Miz
a
is gonna
lot.
do. The
No,
Miz
I
might
did
win.
say a lot.
The Miz
That's why
could
I
end up
said it.
being the world champion. You don't know
True.
that.
The Miz could win the whole King of the Ring.
He's not going to. It's going to be
know
Mustafa
that.
Ali.
You don't know
And
that.
I do because guess look at who's the world champion right now, guys.
Well, maybe one of them turns face.
Maybe MJF loses the title.
Yeah.
Maybe one of them turns.
Maybe
And-
Cody Rhodes could have turned
yeah.
face.
MJF has got an opponent tonight.
Well, he is a face because he's the most beautiful man
Kenny,
in the
Kenny
world.
could steal my world
The American
championship
Dream
tonight.
Boat.
What if I want to shock y'all and just give Kenny my world title? Just for
That'd
shits
be
and
wild.
gigs.
You give him your world title, and then John the Great takes it from Jeff Hardy on the next DPW
Hey,
show.
you never know.
And JTG's never showing up at BBW. He's toxic. He's gonna be like,
Hey.
look, my title
You
now.
know what?
Hey, don't say he's toxic. He's not toxic.
Y'all know that I'll put
He's
over somebody
toxic.
else's champions like that. Y'all see
He's
me do it.
toxic and he's radical.
I let Roman Reigns
I hate that. I hated that.
back in
He's
TNA. I let Roman Reigns come and destroy my whole roster. I'll put somebody else over. I don't
That
give a
is
fuck.
wild. I still can't believe that. I was as shocked as you guys were. Let me tell you. When he said that build where he's like, yeah, Roman Reigns came through and whooped everybody on TNA's roster, I was like, that man is God.
I wasn't mildly surprised. I was fully shocked.
I don't mind putting somebody over. I'm not egotistical like that. We still do need ratings on the Elimination Chamber from Kenny and Mike though.
Okay.
We got
I was a
sidetracked.
little bit above mid, so I went with 3.5.
I'll take it.
It is a 2.75, guys.
I'm gonna go with a 3.5.
Okay. All right. So next up is Billy and Chuck versus the Underclass Gang. Do y'all need any refreshers on what happened in that build, or do you want me to just go straight into the attires in the match?
So
I'm
wait,
good on that build, but I know they can't follow along.
If y'all need me
So-
to do a quick refresher, I can do that.
What is it again? What's the match?
Billy and Chuck versus Underclass Gang, which is Taz and Eddie Kingston.
Yeah, no, Eddie Kingston, Taz kicked out Chuck Palumbo. Billy Gunn still has a hard on for Chuck Palumbo, and then
And like Billy got betrayed by his kid, losing streak. He tried to. So basically, Chuck rescued Billy just to get back at the Underclass Gang. Billy tried to be friends with him. Chuck was like, "No, I'm not interested." Chuck's getting jumped next week. Billy breaks it up. Billy tries to be friends again. Chuck says, "Dude, fuck off," basically. And then the next week, Billy gets jumped. Chuck's makes the big save, and then they actually do become friends. And then Billy has the big moment where he actually wins the four corners match, pinning Eddie Kingston and all that. So yeah, Billy and Chuck are friends now. Chuck finally accepted Billy's friendship.
What's a 4 corners match?
That was in the King of the Ring build. Remember?
What is it?
It was 4 tag teams of 4, and Billy pinned Eddie Kingston, which might have influenced Chuck's decision.
It's a fatal 4-way.
Yeah. So Billy got a pin on the last weekly King of the Ring event. Had Billy Gunn pinning Eddie Kingston.
Okay. I thought a 4 corners match is like a Texas bull rope where you got to touch all 4
I
corners.
thought so too when he said it.
And I was like, that doesn't
I
seem
thought
that
it
hard when you're
was-
not
When there's-
Isn't that what ECW called it when it was a fatal 4-way? Wasn't it 4 corners?
Yeah, I think so. I was thinking like fatal 4-way tag. But
Was it a tornado tag or was it tag?
tag?
How many people were in the ring while they were wrestling?
2.
Yuck.
Oh.
I should give you less money for that.
That's such a minute detail.
It's not.
Anyways, does anybody need any more refreshers on this bill?
Keith, when you write your fucking notes, tell John how wrong he is about that last point. I
Yeah,
know
if
Keith
you're gonna
will
have
light your ass up.
if you're gonna have a 4 corners match with tag teams, each member of the tag team should be in the ring,
Yep.
and they shouldn't be able to tag anyone but their partner.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's not on my card, so.
I'll be right back. Keep going though.
All right, so for the attires, Billy comes out with the bleached hair red outfit, while Chuck is still in his biker attire, visibly cringing from his motorcycle as Billy does their old entrance to the "You look so
Good to me.
And Chuck is like, Chuck's on his motorcycle, like, God fucking damn it. And then Underclass Gang comes out in orange and black jumpsuits, pretty typical. So Billy starts the match against Eddie Kingston. Billy hits a Thez press to the roar of the crowd, making Eddie pay for all he's done. He takes him to the corner and does the 10 punches, wipes his hands, and then does it again. So Billy runs over to Taz and starts throwing hands at him in the corner, but Eddie jumps on him from behind, getting advantage, stomping him while trading tags. Taz takes over the last tag. Taz hits an exploder on Billy into a turnbuckle, hanging him by one leg in the Tree of Woe. He then runs to the other side, blindsides Chuck, and drop kicks Billy. Taz gets Billy in a rest hold, while Billy elbows Taz's gut to the collapse of the crowd. Taz throws him off the ropes, and Billy hits a surprise fame asser out of nowhere. The crowd pops for the pin, but Eddie breaks it. Chuck runs into the ring and big boots Eddie out of the ring. He then hits Taz with a Chuck Deluxe, overhead belly to belly, before getting back to his corner where Billy makes an emphatic tag to him. The hot tag, baby. Chuck gets a super kick on Taz and starts to lift him for full throttle, but then hears the sound of his motorcycle revving on the ramp. The camera shows a masked man in black and orange jumpsuit similar to Kingston and Taz's on Chuck's bike. Billy runs to him and starts throwing fists before Eddie Kingston hits Billy from behind outside the ring. While Chuck is looking at this scene, Taz locks in the Taz mission from behind and holds the Taz mission until the ref calls the match. So Taz wins the match of the Taz mission. So the Underclass Gang wins the match, and Eddie grabs a mic and says, "Chuck, do you really think we couldn't easily replace you? We replaced you with someone who's tougher, meaner, someone who's really about that action, someone who grew up on the streets of New York like us, instead of being a sheltered suburban bitch from Rhode Island. Say hello to the newest member of the Underclass Gang, Big Vito!" And he is revealed. So that is the match.
Then he's revealed.
Here's the thing.
This
Here's
ain't
the
dress
thing.
Vito. This is fucking tough guy like ECW Vito.
I knew
Like FBI Vito.
as
Yeah.
soon as you said you replaced him, I don't know how, but I knew it was Vito.
How the fuck did you guess
He's
that?
been popping up on my fucking TikTok so much
He
lately.
follows me on TikTok. I have to book him.
Put
My
this
man
on the
Vito-
TikTok, Damona, tag him.
Yeah.
This is the clip.
Vito, you
Okay.
follow me on TikTok. I love you, bro. You're now in my trio gang with Eddie Kingston and Taz. Bunch of tough ass New Yorkers fucking up Billy and Chuck.
All right,
I'm
let
not
me
gonna lie
tell
to you. I liked when Vito was in the dress. I know they talked shit about it. That was like a punishment.
I
whatever
did
that
too,
was.
but it shouldn't
I
fit
fucked
this.
with it.
I'm just making sure y'all were laughing when I said Vito. Y'all weren't
was-
thinking I just had him out here in the dress with these guys. Like,
Honestly, he could have been in the dress. I would have been fine. He
This
was
is like
honestly, he was
tracksuit
low
Vito.
key scarier with the dress on. I don't know why.
because that was when he was in the best shape, is why he was fucking jacked then.
I didn't like the Taz one.
Yeah,
I was
I
rooting
think.
for Billy and Chuck.
Yeah, I think the Raw team won.
It wasn't
like
clean,
I get what
though.
you were.
Yeah, it was
I
not
get what you're.
clean.
I get what you were going for, especially with revealing Vito.
Wait,
Um,
is this going to lead to a trios match? Is Rico coming back?
Maybe.
I might have to up a couple points now. But let me find out that Rico doesn't come back in the next match between either of these people who get a 0.5. I'm letting you know right now.
So it is 3-on-2. They got to equal that out.
Don't play with my heart, John.
You just gave him his. He just gave him his next good score.
Good.
Well, I was already. Never mind. It's pretty obvious. Like,
Yeah,
Sure
right.
you were.
I hinted at it in the chat like 6 months ago.
I think the Raw team won, but I get what you're going for. I think it was the build is part of the other build, but overall, I think the match was okay. Wasn't like my favorite match or anything, so I'm gonna give this a 3.25.
Okay.
Give me the finish one more game.
Okay. Let me go back to that spot. So, Chuck gets a super kick on Taz and starts to lift him for full throttle, his finisher, and then he hears the sound of his motorcycle revving from the ramp. The camera shows a masked man in the tracksuit similar to theirs on the bike. Billy gets off the apron and runs to go start fighting him, and then Eddie gets Billy from behind. So, and while Chuck is watching this shit happen, Taz locks in the Taz mission and holds it till he's passed out, and the ref calls the match.
Is he wearing the helmet as the mask?
Fuck it, yes.
That would make the most sense.
Yes.
Just fighting Dad Punk.
It's Crab's Punk from Eric Andre. It's got the fucking macaroni shit.
I like this actually. The more that I think about it, the more I put the pieces together about Rico coming back and like this is
The potential.
But Rico's not. He's not. You can't.
No, but I can judge based off what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, based on what you see,
I thought
you got a 3-on-2 advantage here. Who else has been with Billy and Chuck in a 3-person environment ever?
What do you think, Mike?
What?
You said I thought, and then you stopped and smiled. So
I just think that basing it off what you see and basing it off what you think is going to happen are two different things.
So
Yeah, I don't want to hear that. I got judged for a match that never fucking happened.
That was two Booking verses ago, and you sucked.
I do this a lot though. So when I'm watching WWE,
I beat you.
When
I didn't know what I was doing.
When I'm watching WWE or AEW,
Not
right?
much has changed.
And like you see,
that's why I'm beating you, bitch.
Let
now.
me explain this line of
I'm
thinking.
arguing with Damone.
I'm resolving the conflict. When you see like an outcome on like WWE or AEW, and you think this obviously is leading to here, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but I could be wrong.
We could be,
but
but
that's
usually
still
aren't.
not judging you for what I see.
Oh no,
It's
when I
judging
see
you for
something,
what
I'm
I
like,
think.
but when there's so many hints there that this is where it's going, like, then like, yeah, I'll judge based off that. Like, I'm trying to think of a recent example. Oh, when fucking Roman beats Cena, Brock comes out. We know it's Brock versus Roman again. I don't want that fucking match. Boom, I rate it based off that. It takes off of Roman and Cena's match because it's building to Brock and Roman, which I don't want. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the logic makes sense.
I still think you're missing what I'm saying, but that's fine.
Can you say it again? What were you saying?
Me?
Yeah.
I still think that you guessing on what it is still not basing your rating on what you're seeing. It's still rating it on what you think might happen, which is no different from not basing it off of just what you see.
Okay, can I explain myself?
Sure.
And see if this changes your opinion.
If
I'm watching the show, right, and I think this is it. This is the end of the feud. This match is the last one ever between them. Whoever wins this is the one, right? And Underclass Gang wins. I don't like that. If I'm watching the show and I think, as it happens, I see how it plays out, and I see that they just released this, cheated them out of their victory. They gave them a third member, and I'm sitting here like, I don't know, maybe it's not Rico, but I think that they're going to keep going with this. Some third person is going to join their fucking team, and they're going to fight each other again. I like that, and that's the side I'm leaning on. So therefore, I'm going to give you a 4.75.
Thank you. Mike, did you give me a number?
No. I didn't like it as much as he did.
That's fair.
I thought it was all right. I'm gonna go with a 3.25.
Okay.
What did D Money give it?
3.25.
3.25.
Kenny, what do you think?
This
Oh,
is
I,
his weakest.
I honestly gave it 3.25 as well.
All right.
Yeah, this was your weakest so far.
I like this shit. This might be your best match so far to me.
All right. So,
No, the weakest was that Rock shit, but actually, no,
Yes.
the very beginning. That
Ligma
video.
balls. So a video. This is on the first week of the build. I'm not gonna announce the match yet. You'll know it in a few minutes. So a video shows a limo pulling up to a big casino with a red carpet rolled out. The limo reads, "Very rich, very famous." And out the back door comes Danhausen, Boogeyman, and Big Show sporting tuxedos and their trio's belts. They are stopped on the way in, but Danhausen walks through all security saying, "Excuse me, hello, we're actually very rich and very famous. So we'll be doing whatever evil things we like." They try to stop him, but he curses the guards and they topple over. It then shows a montage of the music of Betty, Get Money by Young Gravy. The montage shows them playing poker and sweeping the table, Danhausen struggling to do the slot machine, Boogeyman being served a cocktail and putting worms in it, women with Danhausen and Boogeyman face paint twerking on him, Big Show scaring off suspicious casino owners, and Boogeyman counting cards and blackjack. The montage ends as the song does, with them going back to the limo with a stack of cash. After this montage, a number one contender match takes place on Malice, where the Private Practice defeats Sanity to become the number one contenders. The next week, Boogeyman faces Wagner, Dr. Wagner, one-on-one, with Danhausen and Dr. Stevie on commentary. The entirety of the match is them arguing with each other, with Stevie saying, "There's no way you believe anything you say on a weekly basis. You're not rich, famous, or even evil. You're actually a kind person. You have delusions of grandeur. That means you think of yourself bigger than you actually are." Danhausen responds, "No need to imagine myself bigger when I stand at 7 feet tall and weigh over 300 pounds. Furthermore, American Express says my outstanding balance is $20,000, so I am in fact very rich." Stevie yells, "Outstanding balance means you owe that money!" Danhausen yells, "No, they're congratulating me on my outstanding balance. They email me twice a day." Stevie says, "You need therapy. Next week, I'm going to give you a formal diagnosis." Danhausen says, "I'll have to get my suit from the dry cleaners." As Wagner hits a Wagner
John, you're
driver
turning me on.
and pins the Boogeyman. So the third week, a live therapy session takes place with Stevie and Danhausen in chairs with their respective teams behind him. Dr. Stevie opens by saying, "Now Danhausen." So he's got that raspy, "I'll show you, you'll see" voice. I'm trying to do it. After talking to you in person for the first time, I grew to be a bit concerned. I see someone who is detached from reality, and that is a danger to yourself, your loved ones, and society. I'm going to ask you a few questions. First, what is your height and weight? 7'3", 360 pounds. 60 pounds. Okay. Do you consider yourself to be a celebrity? Danhausen lets the crowd cheer before he says, "Yes, I'm very famous." Do you think there's consequences to your actions? Well, I suppose there would be if I wasn't a world-renowned beloved celebrity, but everyone loves that Danhausen. What happens if someone does not love that Danhausen? They would have been cursed. So, do you believe you're stronger than everyone? Perhaps. Absolutely delusional. Maybe even psychotic. That means a disconnect from reality. You know what, Danhausen? I want you to curse me right now. You don't want that. Curse me! Dr. Stevie, you don't understand. Curse me! Danhausen gets up and curses Stevie before Stevie super kicks his lights out. Boogeyman and Big Show throw Wagner and Stevie into the corners and start punching away until Britt Baker jumps onto the Big Show's back. Show tries to shake her off without hurting her, looking conflicted. Boogeyman pulls Britt off of Big Show's back, grabs her, and starts to pull the worms out before Big Show breaks it up and the Private Practice gets away. Alright, on the fourth week, Britt comes out without Stevie and Wagner say, "Last week, the brilliant Dr. Stevie dove deep into the deranged mind of Danhausen and exposed him for what he is, a delusional carny. Everything you see and laugh at is just a stupid gimmick, while the Private Practice is a stable of learned doctors. I graduated from the University of Pittsburgh School of Dental Medicine. Dr. Stevie graduated from TNA University with doctorate in psychology. And Dr. Wagner graduated from Universidad de Llena de Mierda with a degree in anatomy. That means the study of the human body. The amount of This amount of intelligence will lead BBW's Trios division to new heights. Actual ones, unlike the Danhausen and the Big Show. Speaking of Big Show, let's all have a laugh at last week when he was scared to fight little old Dr. Britt Baker. Why don't you come out here and face me like a man? Leave the clowns backstage. Big Show comes out and says, listen, I'm very sorry about last week. If my teammate stepped out of line, I take full responsibility. It was never my intent to hurt you. Britt chuckles and says, you don't respect me, do you? You don't think I belong because I'm a woman. Just come out and say it. Big Show sighs and says, it's not because of gender. I feel like with the size difference between us is unfair. I don't want to shorten your career. Britt says, well, isn't Danhausen the same size as you? If that's the case, you have to question the morality of your friend. If not, you have to admit that he's a psychotic liar. Show looks conflicted, and then along with a big O from the crowd, Britt boots Big Show in the nuts, sending him to a knee. Britt then hits a Shining Wizard, a la Adam Cole. She then pulls out a plastic mask from her lab coats and puts it on Big Show's face. She rolls out of the ring and then pulls out a blue metal tube, and Shannon on the commentary is like, is that laughing gas? She starts to connect it before the Boogeyman and Danhausen run down to the ring and make the save, while Britt Baker is screaming, you will respect me, unmiked. So for the attires, the Big Boogiehausen is in black and red standard attires. Private Practice is in all gold lab coats and gear. For the match, Danhausen and Britt Baker start the match. Britt overpowers Danhausen with every tie-up. Britt throws him into her team's corner and woo chops him, then tags Dr. Stevie. Danhausen tries to climb the top rope away from Stevie, but Stevie hits an avalanche goddamn Russian leg sweep. Pin attempt for 2. Stevie tags Britt, and they charge up in the corner for double super kicks. And when they throw them, Danhausen bridges back and crab walks to his corner to tag the Boogeyman. Boogeyman comes in hot, throwing Britt off the ropes for a big boot. Boogeyman lifts her up and hits a fall-away slam. Big Show steps into the ring and tells him he can't beat up a girl like that. When Big Show gets in the ring, Wagner and Stevie get defensive and run up on Big Show. Chaos ensues until Danhausen climbs the top rope and Trust falls onto the other 5, knocking them down like bowling pins as they topple over each other. Boogeyman is hanging below the bottom rope of the apron and grabs his bag of worms. As he puts them into Stevie's mouth, Britt hits him with the Shining Wizard. Danhausen scurries to the corner and reaches into his coat before Britt yells, looking for these? Holding up Danhausen's jar of teeth. She then puts her foot on Danhausen's chest in the corner. Danhausen attempts to hit his signature low blow, but then has that Bobby Hill moment, realizing that doesn't work on a woman. Britt starts to move her jar
She's
towards
bluffing. Finish her!
Britt starts to move the jar towards him until a big hand grabs her throat. Big Show picks her up and choke slams her over the top rope onto the apron. Wagner, from behind with a super impressive feat of strength, lifts Big Show and hits him with a backdrop. He then grabs Boogeyman and hits a Wagner driver. He goes for the pin, but the ref knows Wagner isn't the legal man. Wagner snaps at the ref before grabbing Baker, rolling her into the ring, and putting her on top of the Boogeyman. 1, 2, pin broken up by Danhausen. Wagner goes over and grabs him by the hair. And the ref is trying to talk Wagner out of the ring. Danhausen low blows Wagner while the ref isn't looking. Boogeyman is able to crawl to the apron and tag the Big Show, and when the ref turns around, Big Show looks at the turnbuckle and the crowd pops. Voice crack. The crowd pops. He climbs up and hits a BME on Britt and pins her 1, 2, 3 for the Big Boogiehausen to retain the championships.
This is okay.
You said who hit the BME?
Big Show's. It's the biggest moonsault ever. So it doesn't do the Christopher Daniels shit.
Okay, I was about to say that's wild.
Yeah, no, he calls his moonsault the BME.
Okay.
The outstanding credit was fucking hilarious. I was dying.
Yeah, there was Danhausen and Stevie Richards are good together.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff I liked, mostly the Danhausen stuff. I'm gonna give you 4 1/4.
Thank you.
Like, it wasn't perfect.
Right.
And I thought for a moment you were leaning in, you were gonna have like Big Show falling in love with Britt Baker.
Interesting.
It's like that's why he didn't want to like hurt her. I don't want to say the wrong team won, but I almost kind of wish
The wrong
Private
team
Practice won so that you could continue this feud.
That makes sense.
Well, you
I'm
can
gonna give
continue the
you
feud.
what?
He can continue the feud. Just make up an excuse.
Well, yeah, obviously, but it would be easier to if they won. I'm gonna give you a 3.95.
Okay.
I'll give you a 5. There's nothing wrong with this.
With the Travis 5. Let's go. What do you think, Kenny? I know Dan
Bump-
Allen, you're
I
good.
honestly, here's the thing. I can't stand Danhausen. I think he's corny as hell. But I think this was really good though. I think he said a lot of clever stuff this time around. So I gave you a 5. I didn't see anything wrong with this.
Damn, I got a Danhausen Kenny 5. Woo!
Yeah,
Honestly,
I'll give you credit.
the more I think of it, I can't take off that much. I can't give you a 5, but I'll give you a 4. I bump his up to a 4.75. Like the
What, 3.95 or 4.75?
Yeah,
What are you
because
thinking
like
about?
because the more you talk, the more I think of it,
They
like,
didn't
I don't have
say anything. They said they
No, I'm saying me myself. The more I think of it, I don't have that much. I like 99% of it. The only thing I didn't really like is I can't, like I said, I can't even say the wrong team won because I don't hate that Danhausen's team won either. So like I like I said, it's not perfect, but I don't have anything to take a whole $25 or $1 whatever it was off. So
105.
I think you're perfectly
105.
justified.
so
What?
yeah, bump it up.
How much more do you have left?
I have one more segment and 2 more matches.
Okay.
All right. So, Owen Hart is shown sitting in a dark room that is candlelit, kind of like dark, spooky. He says, "I'm sorry. It was my mistake that led us here. I've spent the last 48 hours awake thinking of what I can do to make this right, and I don't know if there's a way. I will never forgive myself. Eddie, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I pulled a knife and attempted to end your life. And most of all, I'm sorry that it didn't work. I'm sorry that I didn't beat you bad enough in the strap match that you would go away and never come back. I'm sorry that you lived to make the biggest mistake of your life. Bigger than the drugs, negligence, lying, cheating, and stealing, your biggest mistake to date was when you took my opportunity away for the second time. I'm sorry, but you won't live to see a third. You are on a fast track to hell, and I will be your tour guide along the way. Your final destination will be hell in a cell." And
5.
That's
Yeah.
it.
And that's
Is
the
that
promo.
it?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's it.
5.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Yeah, that was
John's
great.
gonna average high as fuck on this show.
Yeah, he is.
I did
This
the
is
Travis
dangerous.
method of doing a lot of shit. Damn, Travis is on to something.
I'm not at a 5. I'll go with a 4.
Why?
I don't know. I just
No, just give it a 5. If you don't know, then give it a 5.
Yeah, we need an
didn't-
explanation.
Explanation is fuck both of you. That's
This isn't entertaining for the audience at all. We're doing a show here.
I understand. I just
Because your grading scale right now, based on previous shows and this one, is just whatever Mike feels like in the moment.
well yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
reasoning at all for anything ever.
Fine, just give him a 5.
Oh, see, he
Travis
does
is my fucking man.
it. I just want Mike to like put some effort into his ratings. That's all I want.
Why?
An
You guys do it
like
for
an,
me.
like an explanation.
Yeah, like anything. Just say what you liked or didn't like. Anything. I feel like Mike zones out till he hears us start throwing numbers and he picks one from midair. He's like, I'll get this one. There you go.
He has like fucking popsicle
Like-
sticks of every possible rating.
Yeah.
Kenny, what do you think?
I gave you a 5.
Ooh,
You're lucky. You're welcome.
It's just
Josh.
funny you got two dead people talking about killing each other, but keep going.
Hey, it's supposed to be a triple threat with Crispin if you keep talking like that.
Hey, I'm not. If you do that, you're gonna get a fire from me. I mean, you might not get a fire from Mike, but
You might get kicked off the show, but that's fine.
Mike can't kick you off the show
Right.
himself. Don't
Yes.
let him think he
I'm
has
not
that
putting
power.
Crispin in that.
He's banned
Hey, his
from the
name is
show.
Crispin. You said his name.
I don't give a
It's
shit.
Crispin Hua.
I don't care. He's banned.
It's gonna be
It's Crispin.
David Benoit.
Crispin Hua.
Y'all ready for the next match?
Yes.
All right. So Stephen A. Smith is shown on the screen saying, "It's about that
That was some
time.
teacher shit, by the way. I'm sorry, but keep going.
It's about that time. Up next, we have our King of the Ring finals in a steel cage. I'm here with our finalists, and I got some questions. My first question is to you, Miz. You've been in the main event before, and you've held world championships numerous times. Do you feel like you want this as badly as your opponent?" Miz says, "Let me tell you something, Steven. My entire career, everything I do has had its legitimacy questioned, and it makes me sick. I am an elite actor, and I am an elite wrestler, and I have nothing left to prove, but since everyone wants to doubt me, I'm going to make a bigger example out of this nobody than I did The Rock. Ali, take a look at me and realize a big mistake you made by being in my way tonight. After I mangle you in that cage, no one will ever question my drive or my toughness again." And he walks away. Stephen A. turns to Ali and asks, "Your opponent has much more experience than you in these big high-stakes matches. What's going through your mind before the biggest match of your career to date?" Ali responds, "For Miz, this is business as usual. Gather a couple friends, steal a couple matches, get ahead, rinse and repeat. For me, this is everything I've ever dreamed of. This is the moment where I change the connotation of my name. This is the moment where I change everything. This is the night where I make myself a somebody in this business. And Miz, good luck. You're going to need it." All right? So they're still in the same attires. Miz in the purple, Ali in the black and yellow. No time is here's the match. No time is wasted as both men dash to the center of the ring and start brawling. Ali is getting the better of him. Miz misses a leg kick. Ali drop kicks the leg, knocking Miz down. Miz scurries to a corner with Ali following, then trips Ali into hitting the turnbuckle. He then throws Ali into the cage. Miz starts climbing the cage and gets about midway up. Ali catches up, throws a couple forearms to the back. He then jumps off the cage and twists into a sunset flip, and Miz comes off the cage side. Pin attempt 2. So he kind of like does like a twisting thing into a sunset flip off. Miz regains some momentum and climbs to the second rope for an axe handle, but Ali hits a double jump X Factor. Ali hits a Hurricane Rana, but Miz holds him in powerbomb position. Ali grabs onto the cage and attempts to climb. Miz grabs Ali's foot and pulls him down face first into the top rope. Pin attempt in 2. Miz attempts a skull-crushing finale, but Ali reverses into an Ultimo Dragon DDT. Miz hits the it kicks and goes for the swinging DDT, but Ali gets a schoolboy that Miz barely kicks out of. Miz gets frustrated and starts bashing Ali's head into the cage and slamming his back into it. As Ali falls towards the middle of the ring, Miz gets up and hits a reality check. Pin attempt for a 2.9, and Miz is irate. Miz pulls Ali up by his hair, but Ali hits a jumping enziguri out of nowhere to create some distance. He then backs up and hits a super kick to daze the Miz, but it doesn't knock him down. Ali runs over to the opposite corner, jumps off the second rope, and twists back into a picture-perfect tornado DDT, spiking Miz near the corner. Ali climbs the top rope for his 054, but pauses, gives a slow look to the camera, and listens to the crowd. Shannon Sharp is screaming, "Oh no, don't do this, you're going to throw this whole damn match away." Ali climbs to the top of the cage, looks up to the sky, and jumps off the cage for a massive 054, but Miz is able to scurry out of the way, and Ali goes crashing down to the mat. After multiple replays of Ali's impact hitting the floor and holy shit chants, the camera pans over to Ali laying out cold, and then a Miz who at first looks shocked, but then realizes that this is his opportunity, and he smiles from ear to ear and goes for a pin attempt. 1, 2, Ali gets a fingertip on the bottom rope. Miz is not just annoyed, he is flat out disgusted.
Boo!
Miz angrily lifts up a lifeless Ali, dragging him to the middle of the ring. He grabs an arm for a skull-crushing finale, but Ali, in a split-second rush, grabs the arm and pulls Miz down into a Koji clutch, using everything he has left. Commentary is screaming, "No way! No way! He's gonna pull this out! No way!" The crowd is screaming. Ali has a crazed look in his eyes, pulling Miz with every remaining bit of consciousness. Running on adrenaline alone as Miz is panicked, trying to scratch the canvas and claw his way to a rope. Miz makes no progress towards the ropes, and Ali keeps cranking. Miz realizes he's done and taps out. Ali immediately lets go and lays limp in the center of the ring. Shannon Sharp saying on commentary, "Tonight, history was made. A common man became a superhero and silenced his doubters. What a valiant display." And Skip says, "And a reckless one." I'm as shocked as The Miz that he was able to do that. But the real question remains, will he even be 100% to face the world champion at Final Destination? The ref has to get down and hold Ali's hand up as he's announced King of the Ring. Miz is able to angrily make his exit before Ali is helped up and out of the ring.
What move did he make him tap out to again?
The Koji clutch. That's his
Okay.
submission finisher. He used that mostly when he was like a heel. So because he wasn't doing the 450 or the 5-4 then. So he basically, Miz was like hooking his arms for skull crushing finale, and Ali twisted around the back and pulled him down for a Koji clutch. Until he like fucking got Miz to tap out and then passed out himself.
Um,
I went with a 3.
3? All right.
Yeah, I'm about the
um,
same. I think
I-
the wrong person won again.
I like the match. I think the wrong person won. I think that Miz should have came away as the King of the Ring. Other than that, I mean, I thought it was fun. I liked the false finishes. I'm gonna go with the 4.
All right.
Mustafa Ali is being shoved down our throats.
But y'all like most of his
it's-
stuff. Like,
yeah, and it's hard to do I get it's hard to do a baby face and have it not feel like that.
because y'all be liking all the heels is the thing. Y'all a bunch of
Right.
evil motherfuckers. Yeah.
True.
If y'all ran the book, well, I'll say this differently. If ratings ran the Book-It-Verse all the time, it'd just be heel versus heel versus heel versus heel.
But then
I
Travis
like-
would say he doesn't like that. We wouldn't get the high ratings.
It'd be
for it.
Tessa versus Sarah Del Rey versus The Miz
That's a
versus
dream
Cody
match.
Rhodes.
Tessa versus Sarah Del Rey is a dream match.
Y'all's white heels for days. Versus
JTG.
versus Jamie Noble.
I was cheering. Look, I was cheering for John Moxley, but he got retired.
You weren't cheering for Chef O'Reilly.
I was not.
McFoley died.
Yes, fully.
I was
Y'all
cheering for
y'all
Mick
cheer for
Foley when
Mick
he
Foley
got
dying.
I was cheering for
Hey, sacrifices had to be made.
Daniel Bryan was a good babyface.
That's
And-
true, but
and
wasn't he
Booker.
heel for a while in the first?
No, he was a
go-around?
babyface the whole time.
Was he?
Yeah.
thought he was a
I
heel
think
for
he
a
just
little bit.
was like more heelish when he faced Chris Bay, but
And
Yeah, he was.
And Dean
Yeah, because
Malenko.
I was gonna turn him heel, but I decided not to.
Okay, because
'Cause
I thought he was
riding
heel in the
pretty high.
first one when he faced Bay and Malenko.
No, when he faced Malenko was definitely the heel because Malenko hit him with the "How are you the best wrestler on the planet?" or "How are you the best wrestler alive?" When I'm still breathing. I was like, that's the best line ever written in Book-It-Verse. I don't care what anybody says. I will die on that hill.
Lick my balls and slug my wiener better.
No, I'm still at take 2 of these and call me in the morning.
I do
That's-
quote that a little bit, Mike. So you're up there. You're probably 2. You're probably second best.
There's no
I'll
better
never
line than
forgive
bitches
you.
and bitchettes.
No, I'll never forgive
No.
you was the most quoted.
no.
That made me so mad when you said
Yeah,
bitch heads. I
bitch
said
heads.
bitch heads.
Bitch
Yeah.
heads
That's some pimp shit. Y'all know about that.
So I'm waiting on ratings. So I
from
got,
just me, I think.
well,
I'm
you know,
gonna give it.
Travis never gave a number.
I said 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right, so it's just a moment.
Sorry, Keith.
I'm gonna give it a 3. Yeah, just a straight 3. Like it's a little bit above mid.
Okay. All right. So, sorry, we got 2 more matches, so I was a little bit wrong, but this one's gonna be kind of short. So over the past 2 months, Brian Kendrick has rejuvenated his career. He's been on proving grounds, racking up wins against local talent and silent wrestlers alike, using brutal, strong style and lots of submissions. He's begun calling himself the Elitist, but it's spelled like Elite-est, E-S-T, and saying that he's a wrestling purist. He hates that wrestling has become about everything but wrestling itself. He has a vignette on the episode of Malice After Taboo Tuesday saying that that's why he's going after Macho Man next. Macho Man personified his problem with the direction wrestling has gone, and he's going to pick him apart and restore honor to the Western Hemisphere Championship. Next week, Macho Man is backstage with Stephen A. Smith and is asked his thoughts about Brian Kendrick. And Randy says, Brian Kendrick thinks he's ready to tussle with the Macho Man, but he doesn't have the tools to do the job. And lifts up a toolbox. See, Macho Man is a Mack truck. Big, strong, fast, and deadly.
Then pulls out a toy.
I'm getting to that. Well, Brian Kendrick is like a Tesla. He pulls out a little toy car out of his toolbox. Small, fragile, overrated, and explodes on himself under the slightest bit of pressure, oh yeah. Kendrick, you think you're good enough to take my title, but you're not strong enough to take my trash to the garbage can. Pulls out a trash bag. Because you're wimpy, and I'm FD. And then Macho Man is attacked from behind and thrown into the backdrop. Kendrick grabs Stephen A. Smith by the shirt and says into the mic, the joke is over, and it's about time this title and this sport were taken seriously, and I am going to ensure just that. On the third week, Kendrick is having a match against Cameron Grimes. A match against Cameron Grimes. Kendrick has Grimes in a clover wreath when Macho Man appears on the screen behind the wheel of a car saying, Brian Kendrick, last week you were really tough attacking me from behind, but I wanted to give you a preview of what happens when we have a head-on collision, oh yeah. And the camera shows Macho Man driving a semi-truck into a Tesla, destroying it. While Kendrick is distracted, Grimes rolls him up and gets away.
You sound like Muscle Man from the regular show.
Who do you think that's based off of?
You sound like...
All right, on the Go Home show, a mixed tag match is booked where Macho Man and Kelly Kelly face Brian Kendrick and Jillian Hall. Hall accidentally distracts Kendrick as he's climbing up top. Macho hits a superplex. Macho elbow drops Kendrick, but then tags Kelly Kelly to elbow drop him, and Kelly Kelly pin Brian Kendrick and humiliate him. On Wrestlepalooza Night 1, Macho Man does an improv show during the day of Wrestlepalooza Day 1 and gets attacked by Brian Kendrick mid-skit. He yells at the audience that he can't believe that they pay for this nonsense and that it is disgraceful. For the attires, Brian Kendrick is wearing snakeskin long tights and a purple leather jacket, while Macho Man is in lime green trunks with lime green and lilac entrance gear and tassels. So for the match, Macho Man flexes in Brian Kendrick's face. Kendrick grabs the arm and twists and sweeps Macho's leg, grabs the head and does a handstand headlock. He then starts clubbing his back and puts him in a half Nelson. Kendrick is simply wrestling circles around Savage. Kendrick gets Savage twisted in a Texas cloverleaf, but the crowd claps for Savage, who makes it to a rope. Kendrick tries to kick Savage's leg from underneath him, but Savage jumps to dodge. Kendrick runs at him, but Savage overhead tosses Kendrick to the outside. Savage climbs to the top rope and axe handles Kendrick outside the ring. Savage backdrops Kendrick onto the apron, then quickly lifts him again and does it onto the announce table, then quickly does it back again onto the apron, and then rolls him back into the ring. Savage throws Kendrick in the corner and begins the 10 punches, but Kendrick slides under and pulls Savage down into the turnbuckle. He then locks Savage into the tarantula, and once Macho is let go from the 5 count in the tarantula, Macho is limping after he's released. Kendrick springboards up, but Macho reverses with a code breaker, pin attempt, and two count. Macho struggles to get up and attempts a reverse atomic drops, but his knee gives when he lifts Kendrick, and Kendrick grabs his head, pulls him to the corner, and hits sliced bread number 2. Pin attempt 2. Kendrick hits the ropes and runs at Macho, but Macho reverses with a lariat takedown. But after he hits this, Macho is holding his knee as he forces himself up to the top rope and jumps off for an elbow drop. He is able to pin Kendrick 1, 2, 3, but he can't stay standing to hold up his title, and his knee is clearly having problems. So Macho Man is the winner, but his knee is clearly fucked up.
this is a little bit above mid. Like I'm not like super invested in it. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Right.
I'm
This was a
glad the
little
title's on someone else. I'm glad the right man won. It was just mid though.
Wait, what do
Just
you mean
above
the
mid.
title's on someone else?
What?
What do you mean the
Uh,
title's on
wasn't
someone else?
wasn't his title on
No,
Macho Man now, right?
Yeah.
Macho
it's been
Man
on
had
Macho
it.
Man. Yeah.
For some reason I thought it was on what
You're thinking of CBW when Kendrick was world
no.
champion.
Yeah, I am. I'm just glad it's not on Kendrick. I'm still gonna go just above mid. We're going 3 1/4.
All right.
I think this was just there. I don't think there was much good to it at all. The Macho Man promo was kind of funny. Yeah, I don't. This didn't need to be here. This is a downer. This is a 2 for me.
All right.
Yeah, I wasn't really feeling any of it. I just went with the 1.
1.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling it. Don't then the 1 came from Macho Man promo. I like a little bit of that, but other than that, it was like nah.
Damn. Kenny is on a
Right.
mission to drag me
That
down.
toolbox was funny.
No, I'm not. It was just
Yeah,
but that's what I liked. Other than that,
Honestly,
the rest of it was
I've-
pretty much just noise in the background. It felt like
I thought the toolbox was the worst part of the promo.
No, that was the best part. It's like
I mean, it was ass, but it was funny.
it sounds like something Macho Man would do.
I
It's
don't
a
know.
quintessential Macho Man promo.
That's the end of your show?
No, that's not
Oh,
my
you
main
got
event.
more? I thought you said you had 2 matches
I was
in
wrong.
one
I said
segment. I'm going to bed. I'm going to have to do this later. I stuck around because,
Well, there's one more match.
well, I understand. I got to get up in like 4 hours.
Just go. Bye, Mike.
So I will rate your last one tomorrow.
Mike better send us a good morning text at 3:30 in the morning, or we're not doing it.
I ain't doing
Go on.
shit. You can fuck off. I'm going to bed. I will do your last rating tomorrow at work.
All right. Y'all ready for the World Championship match?
Yes.
All right. So as you know, it was announced on week 1. This is just a recap that was already done. For week 1's was a recap. MJF was shown the King of the Ring bracket. He buries them, insists he's taking the next month off. Ball surprises him with the Hardy match, and MJF is going to tell Hardy exactly what he thinks of him. So week 2, MJF comes out and says, "Last week, I said that I would tell Meth Hardy exactly what I feel about him in great detail. And the more I thought about it, the less words were needed to describe him. In fact, I can describe Jeff Hardy in just 2 words. Wasted life. Pun intended. You're all probably thinking I'm some evil piece of shit for saying that about everyone's hero, so I figured I'd spend my time tonight explaining why I feel that way. I'm no different than any of you. I spent a lot of my life loving Jeff Hardy. So let's just start on the timeline in April 2003. I had just turned 8 years old, and like most boys my age, I thought Jeff Hardy was the coolest person alive, and I watched every week hoping he'd have another big moment. Well, his next big moment was getting fired because he couldn't piss in a cup or admit he had a problem. The next few years, I became well acquainted with our good friend, the internet. I searched and searched to find out if he was okay, what he was doing, and where he would be next. Unfortunately, all I found was TNA wrestling, and I should hate him for that alone. My good friend Internet told me in August 2006 that Jeff was clean and coming back. He did, but that big moment never came because every 3 to 6 weeks he was pulled for another drug test. He gets his last chance, but in 2008 he has that big moment, but I feel more scared than happy. Instead of enjoying the moment, I can only question how long it will last. And I was correct to wonder this because he left us again in 2009 and no one knew why. But the internet reassured me, the internet comforted me that he left on his own terms, but that was full of shit because he was arrested for being a one-man drug cartel 1 year later. But 2009 was a blessing in disguise. I began my journey following another wrestler who exposed Jeff before I could figure it out, named CM Punk. And for the next decade, He was proven right as you racked up as many DUIs as you did titles. Jeff, you taught me an important lesson. You taught me that people are inherently evil and that I will step on every one of them, holding my place on top, never letting anyone down. Never leaving, never on. And then Jeff Hardy's music hits, and the BBW crowd erupts seeing him for the first time. Jeff said, and I can't do his North Carolina ass accent, "What's up, BBW? Hello, MJF. Finally nice to see you face to face." He starts slowly walking to the ring saying, "Part of the reason these fans have stayed with me through everything, all the mistakes and failures, is because I always keep it real with them. It's no secret. I've messed up a lot of times. I've let a lot of people down. I've hurt a lot of people deeply. So deeply that I don't know if I'll ever make it right. Maxwell, I say this sincerely. I'm sorry my actions have hurt you. Where my accountability stops and where yours begins is when you look in the mirror and stop blaming me, CM Punk, or anyone else for you fundamentally changing as a person. You did that. You chose to be evil, sick, and toxic as much as I ever did to use drugs or alcohol." He rolls in the ring and says, "I do owe you one more apology because in 3 weeks you will feel pain and disappointment one more time at my hands when I take that BBW championship." MJF chuckles and says, "I have an intuition that you won't be winning my championship. In fact, I have something that says you won't be making it to the match at all." And he reaches into his suit pocket, into the inner lining, and pulls out a breathalyzer. Jeff rolls his eyes and turns to the crowd, but MJF immediately whacks him in the head with it, knocking him to the ground and bashing Hardy with the breathalyzer until he's busted open. He quickly gets out of the ring and screams unmiked, "You will never hurt me again! Never!" And then that is it. Alright, so week 3. The next Sunday, the night before Malice, various wrestling news sites report that Hardy has been arrested in another drug bust even larger than his last, and that he's likely to see prison time. His bail is at $200,000, and Matt and Rebby have stated online that they won't be bailing him out. On Malice, MJF comes out and gets a mixed reaction, actually getting some cheers. He opens saying, "Jeff Hardy," and the crowd boos. And there's a section of the crowd chanting, "We want Rebby." MJF continues, Is anyone even surprised anymore? This is just death and taxes at this point. Trusting Jeff Hardy is a waste of your love, and Jeff Hardy himself is a waste of life. Any company that continues to employ Jeff Hardy are enablers. He should be banned from wrestling forever and locked in a prison cell like a normal normal person without green hair and some stupid armbands. Mark Cuban, LeVar Ball, I told you so. I'm taking this month off, and I'll see you around Final Destination. And drops the mic, and Jeff Hardy's music hits to a quiet crowd with some boos. Jeff says, "I know this looks awful, but I can explain." The crowd boos again. I get it. I'm here in front of you right now because I am innocent, and I have proof. My charges have been expunged, and I will show everyone why." MJF is in the ring at this point, pacing nervously. "When I got my one phone call, I called my brother Matt, and when he was done cussing me out, I told him 3 words. Check Vanguard 1. And what the cameras found on the Hardy compound was 3 familiar faces sneaking onto the property. The footage on the Ballertron shows the Mean Street Posse entering Jeff's house and planting various drugs throughout the house and making the call to the police. Jeff says, "None of that was mine, and these appear to be your friends, employees, or whatever you call them. So I got some questions for you, MJF. Since you want to talk about why so badly, why are you so scared to face me that you resort to this?" MJF yells over him, "I had nothing to do with that, you piece of shit." Jeff keeps saying, "Well, now what? Your boys are waiting for you to bail them out, and I got all night to kick your ass." Jeff runs to the ring and whoops MJF around the arena until MJF gets a low blow and throws Hardy into the steps. He then, out of his suit jacket, takes out a pill bottle and forces a pill into Hardy's mouth, and then grabs a beer from a fan and washes his pill down with alcohol. Hardy has a horrible reaction and actually starts vomiting outside of the ring, and paramedics have to come rescue Jeff Hardy as MJF walks away. On week 4, MJF comes out and says, "What Jeff Hardy experienced last week was an average Friday night for him, except he was at work instead of some shitty North Carolina bar. That's the problem, isn't it? Jeff shouldn't be allowed to work. Jeff should be banned from wrestling. Jeff Hardy should be dead, and I wish he was." MJF continues to drone on, but the fans suddenly cheer as Hardy comes through the crowd behind him and sneaks into the ring. MJF thinks the crowd is agreeing with him again, but Hardy taps MJF on the shoulder, and then when MJF turns around, Jeff Hardy beats his ass all around the ring, ripping up his suit jacket and sending MJF running. Hardy grabs a chair and cracks MJF in the head. He then chases MJF back into the ring and hits MJF with the chair again. He then unfolds the chair on top of MJF's chest and neck and sits on it. He says, "Maybe you're right. Maybe I should be dead. But if there's anything we know about Hardys, it's that we will not die and that we are immortal. At Wrestlepalooza, you're going to be wishing that you were dead." All right, we'll go into the attires. MJF has the gold robe with Burberry trim, gold trunks underneath. Jeff Hardy's got green pigtails, a blue mesh shirt, black and white armbands, and his usual pants. So he's like 2002 e-girl Jeff Hardy. So MJF tries to start with a lariat, but Hardy ducks under, runs up the rope, and hits Whisper in the wind. He rolls out of the ring and immediately grabs the ladder. But after he slides it into the ring and picks it up, MJF boots it into his face. Hardy mule kicks MJF, who falls back into the corner. Hardy puts a chair in his face and hits cardiac arrest. Hardy lays a ladder on top of MJF and hits a slingshot Arabian press. Hardy does a hand signal climbing up the ladder to a huge cheer. He sets it up and starts to climb. He gets about halfway before MJF hits him in the back of the chair. He picks Hardy up off the ladder in powerbomb position, bounces him off the ropes, and hits a sit-out powerbomb onto the chair. MJF mocks the Hardy dance and then does a motion like he's injecting something into his arm, like he does like that, and then does an injection into his arm. And then climbs the ladder and gets to the top. He reaches for the belt, and the camera shows Hardy leaping from the top rope to the ladder, throwing punches at MJF, and hooking his head and hitting a twist of fate off the ladder. They both pancake to the mat, and MJF falls to the outside. Hardy gets up and tries to slingshot crossbody to the outside, but MJF uses a ladder as a shield, knocking Hardy out of the air. MJF then spends the next few minutes beating Hardy down, throwing him into barricades, and naming painkillers he's going to take after the match. MJF grabs Hardy by the hair and lands a huge punch to MJF's face that visibly rocks him. He lifts him up and hits the inverted front suplex on him to the stairs. When MJF gets up, Jeff uses the stairs to do poetry in motion, but MJF ducks and Hardy hits the barricade. MJF lays down a chair, puts Hardy's feet on the barricade, and hits a heat seeker onto the chair. MJF rolls into the ring, props the ladder back up, and starts to climb until he sees Jeff's hand reach into the ring. MJF gets visibly annoyed, gets down and stomps on Jeff's hand, drags him back into the ring by his hair, spits in his face, but then Jeff takes MJF down by the leg and starts raining punches. MJF covers his face and rolls out of the ring. Jeff fakes a springboard, hopping over the apron, but hits an acai Whisper in the wind. Jeff throws a chair at MJF's head, clears the announce table, and then hits a twist of fate through the announce table. Jeff sets up 2 tables outside the ring as the crowd pops. When he begins to pull MJF towards the tables, the Mean Street Posse run out and start beating down Jeff as MJF starts climbing the ladder. Joey Abs covers the table in kerosene, but he's distracted doing that. When he's distracted doing that, Hardy grabs a chair and fights the Mean Street Posse off. MJF is already at the top of the ladder, so in desperation, Jeff springboard drop kicks the ladder from underneath him, and they both go crashing down. Hardy is the first to get up, rolling MJF out of the ring onto the 2 tables. He then takes off his mesh shirt, climbs the ladder, does his signature hand sign, and as he jumps for a swanton, Pete Gas pulls MJF off the table, and Rodney lights a match, lighting the kerosene, leaving Jeff falling, crashing through 2 flaming tables. And then Joey Abs is able to lift MJF up until he's coherent enough to climb the ladder and pull down the BBW World Championship.
So this felt like the MJF CM Punk feud a little bit. And you kind of mentioned that. So I think that you either subconsciously pulled from that or were directly pulling from that, which I'm hoping it's the former, not the latter.
I was wanting to build into it. Is kind of what I was thinking. Like adding like before like he really got into CM Punk. You know what I mean? He was like an average Jeff Hardy fan until he realized CM Punk was right. You know what I mean? So I'm adding some origin story to it.
That's fair.
It's like a lot of us became CM Punk fans when he figured out what he was right about Jeff Hardy in the Straight Edge Society.
Give me some time.
All right.
Yeah, I was thinking literally the exact same thing Travis said. So that's why it's kind of hard to rate because it's just. But now it's just. It makes MJF seem even. Makes him seem really needy. Like I don't know how to explain it, but it makes him seem really needy. Like
Yeah, he's
He's a spoiled brat.
He's Buddy from The Incredibles.
yeah, I was gonna say he seems like Stan. Like
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of how he is, though. Like that's kind of already built into his character. I kind of want to build on that, and like that he was just this huge wrestling fan and like needed these people.
I mean, that was only on one feud out of how many that was one.
Yeah, but
it just
that was his biggest feud. To be
he
fair,
just seems like an unstable fan. He seems like anybody he liked, he's like, I believed in you, like no matter who it was.
and now he's fucking them all up, and he's the world champion because he is doing it like he's basically that's like his motivation to become such an evil shit person is kind of what it is too. Like
I get what you're saying. I just don't know if I agree.
Yeah, I mean, if it was one person, it's like that. But now it seems like anybody he ever liked is like, oh, I really liked you as a fan. Nah, I don't know. It just
Yeah.
it's weird.
Like the reason I worked with Jeff Hardy for me is because he's directly tied to CM Punk, so there wasn't just like anybody. Like it's not like
Yeah,
I like
I think that hurts you more than anything, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I thought it built into it well, but that's just me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna go with a. I'm
I got a number.
trying not to be too cruel.
He got
I'm gonna
some toxicity, and he planted
Go ahead with
drugs.
your
He
number and tell me.
forced
tell me what
drugs
it is.
down his throat.
I'm gonna go with a 2.25. It just because I'm not gonna go 0.5. If I give you a 0.5, I personally feel like 0.5 is either it's just flat out dumb or it's just not creative. And I don't think it wasn't creative. I think the match was good. The match was good. That's where all this is coming from. The match was good. I just don't like the feud because it doesn't make it doesn't seem like MJF is like really. I don't know. It just makes it makes him just seem like an unstable ass fan. It really makes him seem like a good bad guy to me. It just sounds like a fan that just happened to get a job as a wrestler. I don't know. It's just weird. So I'm gonna go with a 2.25.
You want to go?
No, go ahead. I want to see
Okay.
what you got.
I disagree with their point. I think it adds to his character, and I like the fact that you interwove real life parts of like the CM Punk and the CM Punk MJF feud, and even with the Jeff Hardy and CM Punk feud is interwoven into that as well. In the fact that pretty much MJF was a Jeff Hardy fan first, and then he realized, oh shit, CM Punk was right. But CM Punk's a scumbag too. I hate all of these people, and that's pretty much his evil. That's his villain story. Is that he was a fan, and like everybody he liked turned out to be.
And these wrestlers be pieces of
Right.
shit out here.
He views them as pieces of shit, and he views that what he's doing is the right thing. So I think it's a good origin story for a good villain. I like the planning drugs thing. Honestly, I'm gonna give you. I like the match a lot. I'm honestly gonna give you a 5.
Finally, some common sense.
You know what? Actually, I gotta take a point. I forgot about that part. I'm not gonna lie to you because that also makes it worse. Because I just think that's dumb for you to be like, oh, I don't like you for not using, or I don't like you for using drugs, and then planting drugs on them when they're trying to do better. I don't. It's just that's.
Well, he wanted to get him out of the match. Like he wanted to get him out of the match and make himself.
He's a bad guy. I don't know if that's. I mean, do your thing, but
that's not fair. He's a bad guy. He doesn't want Jeff Hardy to do better.
No, but I'm saying for the point
he doesn't
of,
wanna
hey,
face
I don't
him
like
either.
you for doing this, and then when the person
as a kid, he liked him. As a kid, he was let down. Now he's got to fight him. He doesn't want to fight him, so he's like, "Oh, I can prove myself to be right. That everything that happened, death and taxes. The only thing in life you can count on is death, taxes, and Jeff Hardy relapsing. Here's he relapsed.
Yeah, so
It
he's
proves
like
his point.
forcing. Right, it proves.
Yeah,
the
because
point
remember
that-
the crowd was cheering with him and agreeing with him and chanting, "We want Remy." They booed Jeff Hardy. Like they finally got sick of Jeff's shit because of that next arrest. So they booed Jeff Hardy.
I understand that, but I'm saying from that point of if you have a beef with me and you're mad at me for using drugs and then you can't figure like I have a drug test coming, and then you plant drugs on. I don't know. That's just seems.
Yeah, it's confirmation bias. It's me saying you're a drug addict. I don't want to have a match with you anyway. I want to get rid of you. So what's an easy way to get rid of you? Have you failed a drug test and you're gone?
I don't know. I took it down a quarter, so it's straight 2.
Devon, your lineup
forgot
looking
about that
crazy
part.
right now. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, but your
You know,
ratings
like half
are the
up, half
best.
down like LL Cool J's pants.
I need to get a haircut.
I was gonna give you a 3.75, but Kenny's being a dork with that, so I'm gonna give you a 4 because that's just fucking dumb. Like there was things to like ding you on, and that wasn't one of them.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you the quarter he took.
All right.
It's pretty much I'm gonna use your biggest weakness against you.
Yeah, and he was manipulating the crowd too, because
understand, but the thing
MJF
is,
likes.
you're clearly-
It's not even that. It's realistic blackmail.
Yeah, and not to mention MJF does manipulate the crowd like that. Like he wanted to manipulate them into thinking that he has actually like loved CM Punk, gave him the hug and all that shit. Like he does that type of shit. He's
Yeah,
being a
for sure.
manipulator. And
Yeah,
like
he's a
not to
scumbag.
mention when Jeff Hardy exposed him, he went to even more desperate shit and
Speaking of
Drugged
the
him alive.
CM Punk versus MJF feud, I got a question for y'all.
Yes.
what's that?
You know the line where MJF says like the greatest trick the devil ever did was to convince the world that he didn't exist,
Yes.
Hmm.
and you know that's like a CM Punk line, right?
Yeah.
Well, that
You
line
think
came on.
CM
That
Punk-
line came on before him anyway.
No, but I'm saying that the reason that MJF said it was because CM Punk said it before.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm saying
you
CM
think
Punk didn't
that-
originate that either.
I'm not. I didn't think
Oh.
he did. I'm saying in this
Universe.
feud, the reason he said it, MJF said, is because CM Punk said it.
Right.
Do you think that that's something MJF came up with himself, or do you think CM Punk was like, "Hey, you should say this fucking line"?
I can see it being something MGF came up with.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can see MJF coming up with that.
They're
Just
both
for-
brilliant promos. So I think both are realistic.
And yeah, both are realistic. Also, MJF won all the promos they had. So
Yeah, but
I
because
agree, and I
Punk
think
is
if
washed.
anything with their back and forth, I think because MJF had a lot of respect for him, I think he probably came up to CM Punk like, "Hey, you cool if I do this and this?" I can see him doing that. Be like, because he is a fan at the end of the day, that he can be like, "Hey, you cool if I say this and this about you?" And CM Punk's like, "Yeah, that's cool." Like, I just feel like they had that back.
I don't know. I don't know them well enough. to
That's the
say-
best.
I mean, I don't, but
That's
I'm
the
just
best
saying- I'm
AEW
just saying,
story
what
ever.
I think they both
Yeah.
had a mutual understanding. They said, "Look, I think CM Punk was like, look, say what you got to say. We gonna make this shit where it's gonna be viral by the time."
Yeah.
we
that
come out."
probably is the best feud in AEW history.
It is.
Yes,
Yeah,
no,
by a lot.
easily.
Yeah.
Hangman Kenny's the second, and it's not
So
close.
Punk getting the title didn't really make me mad because I knew like the people who were like
coming.
Punk
Yeah.
should never win the AEW title. Like you're delusional.
Yeah, I knew he was
He is
going to win it.
He
at
is
some
their
point.
biggest star with MJF right there neck and neck.
Yeah.
I just think CM Punk is more of a crossover star than MJF right now.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, right now.
think-
but
I-
it would make more
Jericho
sense.
is too, though, but
would-
Jericho's
yeah.
washed.
No, I would
Yeah,
say
it was
no,
not.
I don't think it's Jericho. I think when it comes to like constantly going viral, I think it's MJF, CM Punk, and then I would say Orange Cassidy. 'Cause
Orange Cassidy does go
stays-
viral a lot.
He goes
Yeah.
viral a lot. Like it's
I
crazy.
don't know if that's what I mean by most popular, but I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But the thing is, people be like, they may not watch AEW, but they know about Orange Cassidy.
Or at least they've seen the guy who wrestled with his hands in his
Yeah.
pockets. Think
Yeah,
it's cool.
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
They may not even know his name. They just know, like, that's the guy that did this.
Pockets.
Yeah.
That's what Jim Cornette calls him.
Fuck him.
I've been watching him more and more. I like Jim Cornette. He's
I
funny.
do too. He's hilarious.
No wonder
he's
you've
so
been rating-
funny.
No wonder
He's
you've been
so
rating like
funny.
a dork lately, because watching that motherfucker.
To be
No,
fair,
that's not-
I
no,
like
that's not wrong.
I like
mean,
parts of Jim
if I don't
Cornette,
like it, I don't
too.
like it. But I just think I just like where he goes. But I just think he's funny. Like
I
stuff he
despise
says.
him. I
Like,
hate
it'd be
him.
some stuff I like, and he would just get mad.
He
like,
calls
"Oh."
he calls Kenny Omega the Twinkle Toes. He calls the Young Bucks the Hardly Boys. It's hilarious. It's,
Yeah, I wasn't-
it's comedy.
He's a dork.
He's
a
gonna
dork.
watch-
Like that, that's because you
he's
like
gonna
that
watch-
Mud Show Outlaw bullshit.
You're just
He's
gonna watch it
bitchless
as a
is what he
comedy
is.
show.
Yeah.
He has a bitch.
That's how I
He
watch
does
it. I
other people
literally
fuck
like
his bitch.
every other day. I'll go look at his page. I'm like, let me see what they had to say about what just happened. And
Yep,
especially when he was
yep.
talking about Brock Lesnar. That's him, Brock Lesnar, and Roman Reigns. Their feud. That shit was hilarious.
Anytime something big happens, my first reaction is like, I wonder what Jimmy got to say about this. Let me see what Jimmy
Yep.
Cornette got to say.
I'll be the same way. Or I go to TikTok because like
And he
they
also-
watch people that react
Yeah.
to it.
He also does like a lot. He says a lot of like funny stuff, like old, like Southern jokes.
Like,
They're just
like
hilarious. Like,
colloquialisms and like idioms and shit.
yeah. Like he just says like funny shit that I can see printed off. Like if they could just print shit that he said in a book and sell it as like something you put in the bathroom to read, because he
Yeah,
be
I
saying
read
some
it.
funny shit.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Well,
Yeah.
John, you're the host now.
Well, that's my show. We're gonna pass around 2 plugs, starting with the bad guy, who's always got a lot.
Go to the Bad Guy Spoken Podcast. You'll see the main show, Bad Guy Spoken Podcast, and you'll see a couple other shows in there too, like Food Truck Friday. You can see the just a bunch of different shows. We like to eat, so you'll see like 3 different food shows. You'll see Brandon's music review. You'll see me game apparently, and there's a new show coming called Story Time, so be on the lookout for that, where we just tell like just either embarrassing or just stories that are just funny that y'all gotta hear. New episode should be dropping soon. I forgot what day I'm gonna drop them, but they're pretty funny.
All right.
Who you
I was
go?
about to say bad guy. Travie T. There you go.
I'm the real bad guy in this bitch. Follow me on all social media at I am Travie T. I am Travie T. That's at IAMTRAVVYT on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram.
All right, and Da Money.
I be tweeting and TikToking. You can follow me on both at DaMoneyT13, DAMONEYT13, numbers 1 and 3. You can also follow T13 Media at T13 Media on, or not T13 Media, T13 on TikTok. You can also find all the shows on the T13 Media Network at T13Media.com. That's T, the number 1, the number 3 spelled out.
That's
Or no, that's not right. T, the number 1, 3 spelled out, media.com. We have shirts, we have merch. You can find all the shows, buy some fucking merch. Also, rate and review us on Apple Podcast and anywhere else you can rate and review us. If it's out of 5, you can fuck off. I don't give a fuck if it's out of 5. So yeah, that's pretty much all the plugs for us. John, you got any?
If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can go to LilXFudge on Twitter, and I will be posting some bullshit and hating on Brock Lesnar every single day. So go find me there. So that has been another episode of Book It. Timon, say the line.
You gotta say see ya, and then I say the line.
Oh, Mike says see ya. Yeah, that's right. See ya.
Bye.